Haven't done that in a while. Welcome!
Oh my God.
To a live episode of the Death Curse Club. And it's a very special day. It's the best holiday besides Halloween. We're in Summerween.
Hey, we're live. You can't cut this.
Summerweenie.
Oh no.
Friday the 13th. And we are going to talk about a buttload of things tonight. What? Why are you laughing so much? I'm trying to do the intro.
You do it. Do it, you doer.
Doing it. We got Friday the 13th news from Jason Universe. We have HHN Halloween Horror Nights news, a house announcement for the Jason Universe. Womstomp Studios came in and they said Jason didn't want to announce too much. We'll announce some things. Some things didn't get announced. Some things might get announced during the night. And while this stream is going, I can update you further on. Also, don't you forget, Adam Marcus is on the show tonight. Interview with Adam Marcus about Jason Goes to Hell. He is the director of Jason Goes to Hell. He's going to get into that movie and his upcoming documentary that's premiering tonight in Los Angeles.
So cool.
All that and more on the Death Curse Club presents a Camp Blood Party.
Never come back again. It's got a death curse. It's got a death curse.
Drop.
Good shooting, Mahoney. Good shooting.
Nice shooting, Mahoney. I don't know what's happening. What'd you press?
Good shooting, Mahoney. Now clean up all this shit, huh?
When I looked into that mirror, I knew I'd always be ugly. I said, Lizzie, you'll always be plain.
Just relax. Be yourself. You be yourself. If you look like this.
Help! It's got a death curse.
Rejection. Okay.
We have so much to talk about. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Death Curse Club. Follow us on Instagram, Death Curse Club, Facebook. You're watching this live there. Thanks. If you're watching on YouTube and you're subscribed and you liked, thanks. I'd like to welcome 1/3 of our hosts right now because the fourth one's not here. Excavate the other person, but we have 3/4 of a person. That's just Jason Math. We got the one, the only, Mr. Wonderful.
Happy to be back with you on this celebration.
It is a celebration.
It is.
And you know what? We have you here, former hunters. The hunters are here, but now the Death Curse is here as well. And we have my man, your man, the what are you, the hostess? I'm the owner. He's the barkeep. We got Jim.
For relaxing times, make it Suntory times.
He always has one of those coming in. Last time it was Dennis the Menace. This time, Little Rascals.
And you always get it wrong.
Shut up, Ted. Okay. So before we get into tonight's episode, what's wrong? Oh, shit. It's Brooke.
That's me. Oh, you're sleeping on the couch. Jason's gonna come through.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Look, it's live. I wasn't ready.
Last time you messed it up too. What's your excuse?
It's got a death curse.
Rejection. Okay.
Welcome to the Death Curse Club. That's Jim. That's wonderful. And this is the one, the only, the talented, the beautiful, the amazing Brooke.
That's me. You're still sleeping on the couch, or maybe in a tent.
Pitching it.
Oh my God!
This
You're
episode,
Prove
this
it.
special,
You're
this,
dead.
prove it, prove it. This Camp Blood episode.
That's when the Monopoly board comes out.
Yeah, we're gonna play Naked Monopoly like the
What?
first Friday
Yeah.
the 13th part one. Naked Monopoly, strip Monopoly.
Strip Monopoly.
Call yourself a fan.
No, I
Death
don't.
Curse After Dark.
Take the shirt off. Take the shirt off. It's got to, no.
You went to pick it up and he was like, nope,
Nope.
not you.
I'm already Winnie the Poohing it right now.
Oh, Jesus.
He's in the Poohaverse, doing it right. So tonight's episode, Camp Blood Party, is brought to you by Frightmare. Frightmare is going to be in action tomorrow night, 1905 South Military Highway, Chesapeake, Virginia. They are doing the Icons of Terror event, which means Jason, Michael, Pinhead, Chucky, probably, I don't know, Art the Clown will probably show up.
Maybe.
Ted Bundy might be there.
No, thank you.
The,
Thank you.
the
I
one,
don't want that.
the one bad cheerleading mom or whatever, those Instagram moms, they'll be in the house.
Karen?
Yeah, all of them will be there. And tonight, after our entire first segment, we will give away tickets to Frightmare. The first to answer a question, and you are able to come to said events on our YouTube or Facebook. If you answer correctly, you will be the 2-ticket winner for said event. We have other prizes and giveaways. We have 2 t-shirts and some fun Friday the 13th stuff that we're going to give away.
Yeah.
So make sure you're around for the stream for all of that. Woo! We're not into the show yet. You can go to TeePublic right now and get yourself some sweet, sweet Death Curse Club merch, hat, shirt, flamethrower. It's all up in there. Also, in the description, we are officially an affiliate with G Fuel. That's right. If you're staying up late and you want to watch some movies or play some games and you need that energy drink boost, you can get the Hack and Slash right now. Gives you focus, gives you reaction, gives you endurance, and the caffeine, all that. All you have to do is use the link in the description down below of this video, and I'll get a little cutback, and they'll be like, you're doing good. We'll give you a little more boost, and that same energy drink is on sale right now during the weekend.
Woo!
No. Okay. Enough of the plugging. We already have comments.
Yeah.
Let's see what the comments are. We got Chad. Happy Friday the
Michelle.
13th. And Michelle, yes. Mr. Wonderful, let's rage. Happy Friday the 13th. That seems too meta. This is too meta.
Also
What's he
on
doing
Fox.
watching?
So good to see our favorite people. Great to see you, Chad. I'm glad you're hanging about.
Yeah.
Who dat? Haven't seen 1D in a while. He here. Well, that's Jim and that's 1D. They're friends. Don't know where Rob is. He was supposed to be here, but I guess he's going to show up a little
He'll
later.
show up.
He'll show up a little
when he
later, but
can.
that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. We can talk a little bit of the news that we've gotten today. And the first bit of news that we can talk about, if I can see things appropriately, which I don't think I can, which is fine. The NECA toy company have announced that there is a Jason, here it is. They teased this today. Jason Universe, NECA said happy Friday the 13th. Bloody Disgusting is running that they are working on a new Jason toy. Wonderful. We'll start with you. Are you surprised, shocked that this was technically our first announcement of the day? And what do you feel the toy will include or what it will be of?
I mean, good question on what it'll be of and which
Thank
one
you.
and all that.
Thank you.
But
Thank you. Thank
I mean, I feel like it was a good appetizer because we all knew what the main event was. We all were waiting for it.
We're
It was
hoping.
kind of like a WrestleMania. Like, oh, we know there's that big twist coming. We know who it is. We're ready to pop for it. What's everything leading up to that moment? So yeah, I thought it was a nice little appetizer for the day. It was a little excitement. You know, you got the juices flowing. Everybody was already doing the Happy Friday the 13th, posting their favorite clips. And then boom, here's a little announcement. Oh, we're going to get a little doll. I can get a little collection going on here. Maybe make a little money down the road here with the, I mean, some of us have great collections behind us. Others have kind of haggard ones right now. But, you know, they could grow that collection with this.
Expand. I'm glad you mentioned Jim. Jim, you are a collector of sorts. NECA has announced this. Do you feel the first toy will end up being the same image we've been seeing on all the product that have come out in the last few months of Jason?
Definitely will. That's pretty much what they do as far as the Jason Voorhees. I think they've done almost every single Jason Voorhees that's been available already. And that is the new Jason Voorhees. That's his new look. That's what the plan is from here on out. And it's a singular universe. And that's what his appearance will be, whether it's books, movies, games, everything.
Right.
That's it. So that's what this toy is going to be.
Do you think when the toy is released, the mask is removable?
I guess that depends on what they plan on doing. If they have an idea of what they're going to do with the actual character. I mean, he seems like he's still alive from the looks of it. That we're not,
Right,
it's
like
not-
it's part 2, 3,
yeah.
4.
So, I mean, I guess it's possible, but you kind of lock yourself in at that way.
Right,
So,
right,
I'm
right,
gonna,
right.
I'm gonna say probably not. You might have an
Mhm.
alternate mask that's maybe damaged or bloody, and you'll have a few
Right.
weapons because they always come with a few weapons.
Right. Brooke,
Yeah.
you are not a toy collector.
No.
You don't really get into that kind of stuff.
No.
If Kid Hilton wants said toy, will you be able to purchase?
It depends on the price.
Oh.
But
How much do NECA toys usually run? 50?
About 30. About
Alright.
30.
okay, well then
That's even
yeah.
better, even
Yeah.
better.
I was gonna say yes, I would. I mean, honestly, yes, I would if it was something that he wanted, and he doesn't use them as collectibles. He uses them as toys, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I can't imagine buying a kid something like that and being like, "Oh, you can't touch this because it'll be worth money down the line." Like,
Right.
while that seemingly is a good concept, just buy 2 at that point.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the whole thing, what I will say is like the entire logo of
Mhm.
everything just excites me with
Mhm.
all of it.
Right.
And also knowing like while we have seen all the different Jasons, it's just nice that this is a property that they're not just dropping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been in flux for
Right,
so long.
right.
So it's nice today on the 45th anniversary of Friday the 13th. Not that it came out today, it came out earlier, but like treating his birthday today was a nice moment to see, hey, we get this toy.
Right.
And I'm with Jim. I like that there's a unified look for him currently. Not to say that it would never change or it's not going to expand eventually, but I like the idea of let's have this one focused look because we've gone through 12 movies and the mask changes every single time. Though the first 2 didn't have masks, but there was backup. But that doesn't matter. Semantics. I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
I do believe that it's
yeah.
Jason's birthday month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well-
Jason's birthday is today, June 13th.
What I
He's
will
78 years old.
What I will say though is
Whew.
that it's
Young man.
really it is really neat though of the fact that like we have Friday the 13th quite often. I mean, we were lucky enough to be able to celebrate Friday the 13th in Universal last year.
Yeah.
For actually both of them. Weren't we in Orlando for both for September and December?
Yeah.
So, that was nice to be able to have that, but just for everything to kind of line up for this month with his birthday and everything, and then all of the announcements, and also being able to have those announcements because we know of all the turmoil and everything that has gone on.
Yeah.
But just being able to have that is a nice adjustment to be able to be like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Right.
Because this is such a strong property.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to the other bit of news, which concerns the TV show. First, Chad says, if Kid Hilton wants it, means Chris wants it. Haha. I don't know who Chris is,
Who's that?
but I love it.
Yeah.
So Crystal Lake adds 3 series regulars, including Cameron Scoggins as a legacy character Dorf. So these 3 actors were named to be in the series, and Dorf is important because it's the police officer portrayed by Ron Milkey in the original. Professor will play Bernana Brooks and will play Grace. Grace! So we do get a returning character.
Gracie.
I don't love that, though, that we don't have Crazy Ralph. How is Ralph not announced as a regular yet? Wonderful. Do tell us.
I was going to say, I had a feeling of that he's going to come a little bit later on. I feel like he's kind of a character that we love that character. We know that character matters a lot, but I feel like since it's a prequel series, maybe we're going to get. He's kind of somebody that will roll in very discreet. He's somebody that will roll in.
was a
None of
Zach
us heard
joke.
that.
It was a Zach joke.
That
If
was-
you
that
don't
was
know it,
amazing.
then I can't help you.
But I think he comes in at some
He doesn't
point,
know it.
either mid-season or
Mhm.
in a season 2. He's kind of a character that I think you can roll in, maybe give a deeper backstory to where you find out how, like, he wasn't crazy to begin with. Like, he's somebody that moves to Crystal Lake and then
Right.
becomes kind of the town kook because he's the only one that actually knows and cares of what the F is going on.
Right. I can get behind that. How about you, Jim?
I think the character will probably show up at some point, but what we got to remember is I think this is a complete reboot. It's one
Right.
thing to sit there and say like, oh, it's a prequel, which it is in theory, but it's a complete reboot. So
Mhm.
we don't, even if you bring in these characters, they're not necessarily going to tie into the version that we know. We've seen them. We saw it with Hannibal. We saw it with Bates Motel, where they eventually do get to some of these characters, but it's not the versions that we knew from the movies. It is played out slightly differently.
I hear you. I kind of disagree in the fact of Ralph, to me, especially if you're going to bring a random character like the police officer in, Ralph for me is that constant that you do want. And maybe he's not crazy yet. Maybe he's just Ralph. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just some guy working at said camp until he's seeing all this stuff goes down, and then he does go a little loony. Maybe he did see Pamela do some hurtful things earlier. Maybe he did watch a little kid drown because he was the one who was begging out the lady while he was drowned.
It's just
So-
mildly upset Ralph.
Yeah, he's not crazy Ralph. He's horny Ralph, okay? Horny Ralphs get shit done. And
Horny
for
Ralph
me-
becomes depressed Ralph. Depressed Ralph starts drinking and becomes conspiracy theory Ralph, who then morphs into crazy Ralph.
You got to wait for the midlife crisis to kick in.
Yeah. It's a 4-year story arc, all right? 4-season story arc here.
Yeah, we got 4 seasons to get through Peacock with this, so I think it's pretty good. But with the cop being named Jim, are you shocked that someone so minor will be a focus?
Yeah, I was a little surprised that was like one of the first characters, like named characters that, I mean, other than Pamela, that we got announced. But you're talking about a timeline that we haven't seen,
Mhm.
Fair.
so you're not going to see the counselors from part 1, at least not until maybe season 3 or 4.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. Robert, if you want to unmute and come on in.
Hola.
Welcome.
What you gave me this article, you showed this to me today. What are your feelings of this cast so far? I mean, it seems like it's a winner.
Yeah, I'm just glad they're actually making some kind of updates to the show because for the longest time it was just sitting still. But now it's actually doing something because we know, of course, we got the main mom character cast, but now that they're adding the extra characters in, it's feeling a little bit better, man. Feels a little better.
Well,
Seems to be fleshing out the story a little bit.
They've been showing a lot of the behind the scenes of being like at what do they call it? Sound stages being built, seeing construction for the camp. Like there's been progress. I'm kind of shocked the teaser was not dropped today. Like I said earlier, maybe there is more because Bloody Disgusting is hosting that screening with Dead Meat hosting, and Sean S. Cunningham is going to be a panelist there. So I think tonight there's going to be some out of nowhere announcements happening. Brooke, this series is, I know you're a scaredy cat. I know horror ain't your bag, baby.
Not
Even though you have a
You
book
hearing?
that literally says Brooke Hilton and horror, it's my bag, baby. Everybody else got that.
Quickly.
But would you be interested to seeing this? Like, we watched a couple of seasons of Bates Motel.
We did. You know, I liked that.
Right. So this is kind of in the same vein.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Pamela Voorhees, Horny Ralph. Are you in?
I'm debatably in. Like like I'm one that, like, let me watch like the first episode and then I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. Well,
But and most likely that will mean that I will probably be in unless it's just too terrifying.
right.
She's in until Jason shows up.
Until
Probably.
Jason. Well, but Jason's
No.
going to be a kid.
No, here's the thing. I'm usually in unless
Stupid
it's like
faggot.
very, very awkward or uncomfortable moments. That's
Right.
when I usually will tap out.
Okay.
So most likely I'll be okay. It just depends because, like, here's my thing. Usually with series and episodes, as long as it's balanced, then
Mhm.
I'm good. If there's too much of intense moments is when I become uncomfortable. But I don't foresee that. So
Fascinating. Fascinating. I
The
love
show's
it.
next year, right?
It's supposed to be. Yeah. So.
but again, just another scenario of where I'm just so glad because I do think that this is such a strong property
Mhm.
that they're just continuing with
Right.
promoting it for the next generation, if that makes sense.
You are really hot on the trail of this is a hot property
No,
right now.
I'm just saying, not like now. I'm just saying it's such a good property.
Jason
Like
Voorhees,
this is
he's so
such,
hot right now.
it's no,
Like
I'm just
right
saying
now.
it's like such a good
So hot.
it's such a good fuck y'all. It is such a good like character and
Mhm.
scary character and everything that goes along with it. It just made me so sad with everything that was happening to where there was no promotion of it. Yeah.
Right.
That you couldn't progress anything with it. And I just feel like for something that is such a staple
Mm-hmm.
to not be able, because I literally thought that we were never going to be able to see anything again.
Right.
And obviously, like, everything has been settled for a hot minute, but just to see it all kind of like really, and like the rumors that we have heard of it's happening, but like rumors are rumors at the end of the day.
Right.
So to just truly see everything like progressing and so many things progressing
Right.
just makes my heart happy because I feel like this between Halloween and Friday the 13th, like those were just two different properties that you obviously brought into my life where I was like, okay, I like these a lot. They're completely scary, like terrified the shit out of me. But the concept of it was so real and yet like you wanted to watch, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So to see it just progressing is what I'm saying. Like I love that. I love that journey for them.
Let's talk about the progression we got today. Babbling Brook. Check out her show on Patreon. I think the biggest progression happened today. So much so, and the gang will tell you because I said I would Zach rant if it did not happen.
Oh.
But today it was officially announced that the Jason universe is coming to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, West Coast and the East Coast. And they delivered a trailer, which was kind of cute. It was a trailer in a kid's bedroom, I would presume, watching it, fan of the series, kind of pulled at my heartstrings a little bit. And you're getting the TV, Kill My Mama, and you see little glimpses of Jason, and they're showing the Jason who is being advertised now. And then someone on the TV screen be like, help, get me out of here. Like, apparently this year's Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights is brought to you by John Ritter's Stay Tuned.
Wow.
Fuck yeah, please.
Wow.
I'm sorry for
And
the F-bomb on that,
or
but
Samsung.
yes.
LG or Samsung. So I'm all into this year. But what a wonderful little tease that we got. Jason Universe is coming, as I said, and we got the media email. Brooke's going to read the what's coming of this house, and then we are going to discuss some bits. So, Brooke, lay it on.
For 45 years, Jason has tormented audiences worldwide and is considered one of the most notorious villains in cinematic history. This fall, the twisted, creative minds behind Halloween Horror Nights pay homage to the machete-wielding slasher in a horrifying haunted house that reawakens the legend to terrify old and new fans alike. Jason Universe will take Halloween Horror Nights guests on a vengeance tour throughout the summer camp to see where it all began, from the creaking floorboards of Jason's ramshackle cabin to the decaying main lodge and the eerie forest that offers no refuge for his victims. Around every corner, fans will be inundated with infamous killer moments that from Jason's heinous homicidal career as he taunts and stalks his victims, who learn too late that the legend is real.
Nice. Okay.
Mhm.
So, that being the description, a few things hit me hearing it.
Okay.
They're obviously going to use this Jason. Like, you would not have this look of him in the teaser. You wouldn't have him in the picture, this mask in it. My hot take is we are going to see iconic scenes from the film all done by this version of Jason. I think we'll get the icon. So I asked everybody before the show, think of the 3 kills, because they say you're going to see the iconic kills.
Yeah.
I think we will see my number 1, the sleeping bag kill onto the tree, but it's going to be this version of Jason, not wet, nasty Jason. I think we're going to get Kevin Bacon stabbed through the neck, but it's going to be Jason. I think we're going to get the head being hit off from part 8, but it's going to be this Jason. Now, that's just my theory. I would like to see where everybody else feels about this. Wonderful. You hear this news. What are your thoughts on said house?
So, I mean, first off, house, amazing. This has caused me to go, yeah, it's not going to be like last year. There's no reason for me to miss this year. This is a property that absolutely pulls me in. And that's somebody who's got, still a new baby at home. Be a toddler by then, but still a lot of other responsibilities by then. But yeah, no, now there's plans to try and get there, even for a night, to fast pass my way through everything so that I can experience.
It's called Express Pass. Get it right.
Oh, well, sorry that I didn't want to get to
something else.
Oh, sorry.
Something else.
All right, sorry.
Have you been in a minute?
Sorry, it's been a while since I watched one of those videos. But love the house announcement. Now, as far as the kills go, you mentioned part 1. I actually figured that we weren't going to see part 1, and I figured some other ones might even be off limits as well, because they're not exactly Jason, quote unquote. You'll be talking to somebody about that in a little bit. But I was thinking, like, you will get the different versions of them. So we will see like Uber Jason at some point. We will see, a baghead in there. That we're going to see those types of Jasons. And the kills I was hoping to see, honestly, are my favorite, frozen face smash. You can do that easily. I think you can do that one.
You're saying frozen face from X?
Yeah, from X, the X.
So, what I was going to tack on, I think, because HHN's cheeky. Like when we went through Frozen Empire, they were showing real Ghostbusters stuff. They showed Vigo. They showed shit that wasn't in the movie. My one theory, because you're going through, as described, you're going through the woods. You're going through the camp. My one theory was they were going to figure out how to glitch the woods, and Jason X would be there.
There's your sleeping bag kill.
Yeah, well, yeah, that could be the him. Don't.
Yeah. Let's have premarital sex.
That's my one. If they do that, goddamn, what a house,
man! But then I'm not gonna get my Crispin Glover. Somebody sitting there going, as Jason hacks down on him.
Where's the what the fuck was screw?
Where's the corkscrew?
Corkscrew. Where's the corkscrew?
Yeah, I figured you can get an actor doing that, or just Chad from the Sammy version.
The Chad?
Yeah, the Chad from the Sammy F-13 film. Have him throw somebody onto the back of a truck.
Please, pretty please.
Yeah.
Jim, you haven't been to HHN for a while, and you said for the longest time it would take something very special to bring you back. Is this special enough? Like, this is 9 years. You actually went to Freddy vs. Jason with us.
Yeah.
It's been 9 years or 10. No, it'll be 10.
10
years since.
10.
10. It'll be 10 years since Jason has last been in Orlando. He's been around a little bit longer in 2017. If you watch Reviewer Rob's Into the Fog with Wolfman Rob on his channel, he talks about that. Is this enough to bring you back, Jim?
I don't know. Maybe I'd be tempted.
Yeah.
I love that that's your answer. I was expecting a hard no.
Oh,
No, not really.
Nah.
No, I'd be tempted with it. I mean,
feel like that would be very Jim.
I definitely agree. Yeah. I mean, I agree with Zach in the fact that I don't expect anybody but the new Jason. I think, again, this is going forward. That's it. This is the Jason. This is the only Jason.
right.
And I think that's what your focus needs to be on. If you
Right.
want to really develop this, you need to focus on that. So let's not bring in the old Jasons. And if you want to, and you can homage the old kills, but you want to bring in new stuff. So I don't necessarily need specific kills from the old movies in this house.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, if you want to do something crazy, you can do something, but it's got to be the new Jason.
Okay.
And we can throw in the hedge, and you want to throw in the hedge clipper kill from part 5.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Good. I like that, and the belt. I think the belt
Yeah.
and the eyes would be pretty fun. Rob, how about you, Mr. Man?
I'm so confused right now because when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, we're going through all the classic movie scenes and all that stuff. And then you read the media thing. I'm like, well, what are we doing? Are we doing all the classic movie scenes, or are we just doing new Jason? Because
this is
them
what it
calling it
says.
Jason Universe is like, okay, we're not calling it Friday the 13th. So we're focused on this new universe instead of whatever we're doing.
Well, what I was going to say is in this media email, it is saying you're going through
Yeah.
classic stuff. We are going to go through Jason's shack.
Yeah.
I think the point of this is, and why it was truly at the time, at least, if nothing else happens during this day, like this is to get people interested in Jason again, while also bringing those new people. Like there are people who
A
are at the
mixture.
age now that have not played Friday the 13th, the game that was only a few years ago. So if you look at it as, okay, well, I'm an HHN fan, I've never watched a Jason. Oh, I don't have to watch the Jasons. But for people that love it, get to read in that email being like, oh, I am going to see classic kills. Those are my Easter eggs. And then I get to tell the newbie about these.
Well, and I even think, kind of going off of what Rob was just saying real quick, is that kind of, and what you were saying of like bringing in the newbies, is that they have 2 video game houses that have already been released. So I do feel like you are bringing in that new generation. So to be able to kind of enfold them in this, I feel like you could have a good balance, because I feel like you have to have some of the original kills of those original Jasons and of those things in order to appease an older generation. Oh my God. But at the same time, kind of put on a platter the newer Jason. And like, this is the direction that we're going.
Rob, continue.
I heard you use the word fold. So that's one of the kills I want to see. I want to see that bed fold where the guy gets crushed. Also,
That's
if we're going to do some fun kills, let me turn a corner and see somebody's head getting smashed with an eyeball popping out at you. That'd be great. If we want to do a controversial kill, right? If we want to do a controversial kill, give me a machete to the head with the wheelchair just going backwards while we're walking by.
Okay, Rob.
Even
You're
if
trying to cause some problems over there.
Rob.
I want early HHN back. No more of this comedy
It's
night.
pretty bad. It's wonderful. Called you out.
Jason Universe, you're not woke here. Welcome here.
Right?
Come on.
Now welcome here.
You can't
awesome.
woke the
Oh,
Jason
God.
universe. That wouldn't just work. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work at all.
Rob's over here like we're making HHN great again.
Oh my god.
There were no riots.
San Francisco is wonderful. Only 1% of San Francisco.
Let's change the course. Look at this poster.
Ooh, I love that poster. I love it. It's from the game.
Yep.
So this being said,
Mhm.
how did we feel about the merch? I swear to God, I put more pictures up here, so I'm so sorry, but this is the only merch picture I put up. Rob, if you want to put up some while I'm
That mug.
while I'm talking about it, I think as a reveal merch for Halloween Horror Nights, this might, and it's biased. I have no problem to say that it's biased. It might be one of my favorite reveals for an IP. Come on in, motherfucker. Water's just fine.
Keep talking.
But like how simple, because they took the logo of Jason that we've been seeing for a few months now, but like did such a cool thing. Put him in woods, made the woods red and the trees black and his body's black, but his mask is prominent. And I just thought that was such a good job. And then like I showed with the front up here, like I like that it says Jason and then below it is Halloween Horror Nights. And they came out with a mug, this shirt, and then a little piece that goes to that collective mirror.
Yes.
Rob's trying to put up stuff. I don't know if he
there.
is.
Almost there.
He's doing it. I'm trying to buy you time. I'm buying you time.
But it's a hell of a shirt.
It is. And my brookie poo for
Yeah.
Father's Day just got me both the shirt and mug ordered. So Zang to me coming in. You go, girl.
And there's something else that he don't know.
You just love. He don't know.
He don't know about
He
you.
don't know.
Right. All three are in there.
Oh, thank you, Rob. You're the best. So this is the backside
Oh.
of that Jason shirt.
So
Again,
good.
just
I
so
love
gorgeous.
the stark white mask
Yeah.
on the red and black. Like it's so pronounced.
To me, this is what screams old school Jason
Yeah.
with some new vibe.
But
because
also
that's current
very,
Max.
I was gonna say also very like simplistic, which
Right.
is odd.
The mug. My favorite bit that it's a big mug.
Mhm.
Like sometimes they drop these little ones. I'm like,
But it
"God
also
damn,
looks
guys."
very much like the shape of it is a camping mug, which I love.
Right, 100%. And then if you look in the background of this mug picture with that glass, pane glass item there,
Frame.
the frame. This goes into the. I know you can't see it really well, but it's the upper left corner of the pane.
Mhm.
So it's a just half body of Jason. Brooke, you're a big merch fan.
I am.
HHN's hit or miss with the merch.
No, I thought
What's your
this was
feels?
really good. It did not look so. One of the biggest complaints last year is the way that the merch looked, that it just didn't look good. Like it looked like somebody created something, put it on TeePublic, and then they bought it in a sense. Like
Me?
no, because you're putting something out that
Go to
makes sense.
TeePublic right now. Pick up your Death Curse Club merch.
But okay, so no, bring up the shirt again, like the back of it.
Giving it
So one of my biggest issues with a shirt, and like I've seen Universal do it,
Mhm.
whatever, but is when you have like the square.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you just pasted it onto the shirt. I like the way that this bleeds into the shirt,
Gotcha.
and it brings me back to even just the design in general of things that we used to see with
Mhm.
HHN.
Mhm.
So that aspect makes me happy. Now
Awesome.
I know that I ran away, and so I don't know if I believe that you've gone through everybody with the
Oh,
different
yeah,
kills.
you did run away. That's
I
what
did.
I was trying to move. Your kill.
Yes. So
And what do you
obviously
think of the house?
we know that I don't remember a lot of the different movies. However,
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the things that I thought of when I was like remembering last year is going through A Quiet Place and seeing the way that they made the whole water scene.
Oh, yes.
I would love to see the doc and the kill either from the canoe boat or where they pull her down under.
Baby
Like,
Jason.
I would be so obsessed with that, and I want to see it so badly.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Wonderful.
What did you do? What did you do?
You know what you did.
What did I do?
What did you do?
I would love to see that
What'd you
scene,
do?
and also the one. And Rob brought it up, like the eyeball of like that would be amazing. Personally, I think that it would be also be amazing to see the crotch kill.
The crotch kill.
Like
What crotch kill?
I pulled it up earlier because I was looking at
There's
it.
a crotch kill. I only know the video game crotch kills.
She was
I'm
looking at crotch
obsessed
kills
with the
earlier.
crotch kills.
Hold on.
I'm obsessed with
Hold
the.
on.
What are you looking at? What you got here?
Hold
What am I supposed to say here? What are you doing here? What are we looking at here? Anyways, while she looks for that, the last kill, Rob Murch.
In part 3.
In part 3, there's a where he's handstanding. Handstands and then crouches him. Gotcha. I'm with you.
Oh yeah.
Rob,
Okay.
Rob Murch, how you feel?
Do you think we'd have
I like
3D
it.
glasses
I
going?
think it looks. Oh,
No,
jeez.
they didn't give us 3D glasses last time. Remember, they yelled at you. Be like, if you want 3D glasses, you got to bring them yourself. You fucking
You're right.
You think you get the 3D for free? Bitch, we don't give
We ain't doing that for
Express or VIP that.
That's true.
Hi, Jim.
I'm here.
All right, real quick. There's the thing.
Oh.
There's this stained glass thing.
There it is, and there's Jason already added to it. And Jim's wearing his 3D glasses.
They coming
You
at you.
have to
Coming
wear those the rest of the show. You have to wear it the rest of the show. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Yep, that's it up and close. There you go. Perfect.
Wait. Now we got to do it like part 3. Oh.
Oh.
If I had a
Hello?
fucking yo-yo. If I had a yo-yo. Rob, Merch, tell me about it.
I love the merch. It looks great. I'm personally not a back shirt design kind of guy because I wear over
was thinking
shirts a
that.
lot of the time, so it won't
Same.
matter for me. But I love it for other people. Like that's a great shirt for people who don't wear flannel shirts and all that.
Right.
But it
Right.
looks awesome. I love the way the mask is like the central point of that whole thing.
Matt Birchfield, director of Killer Reunion, bro, right now on Amazon. You can
Hey,
watch
great
it. He
movie.
says we're fantastic savages.
You're
Thank you,
welcome, by
Matt.
the way, for that today.
Oh, good plug. Good plug.
I'm waiting for the sequel so I can be in it. Just saying.
Hell yes. Wonderful. How do you like this merch? I mean,
Oh my God, dude. The merch, I actually surprisingly.
That's what actually made me want to go.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to buy merch when I'm not there. So yes,
Right.
you're not wrong because
Right.
I really like this is one of the few times where even over all the years that I've gone, usually it wasn't like, oh, I'm excited for that merch. I'll buy I usually end up just buying the year's mug.
right.
Mhm.
That's kind of the
Right.
thing I would usually buy on those trips
Mhm.
if I bought something. You
Mhm.
know, it was more the memories, okay? And the
Mhm. I know,
I know
reels that I
Nicole's
could
not
make.
around to give us that great
That's
discount.
why he doesn't get merch.
You get you.
It's
What's the
about
cheapest
memories.
thing to
And
buy?
the fact that- It's about the memories of the fact that
You
I
know
don't
what?
have a 15% discount.
This
Yeah.
year, I'm going to put an order in with our friend.
But honestly, like I really do want that mug. That's a
Color.
shirt as well that I would actually buy, and I haven't been inclined to buy a shirt in a very since they did the his and hers Frankie and Bride of Frankie.
Mhm.
And there was only a reason behind buying that one that year because you know, newly in love.
I am
so
shocked that you didn't want a Mel's Diane shirt.
I do want a Mel's Diane shirt. That's okay. So you're right. I did want that. I do want that shirt still, but
Mhm.
it's rare that a shirt based on an IP or any of
Fair.
the houses gets me.
Mhm.
So yeah, I want that, but God, do I want that mug? Oh my God, do I want that mug so badly?
Yeah, I feel you. Jim, you are a massive merch man. You have a sweet F-13-7 zip-up hoodie that I want. You're currently wearing Jason's shirt. You have Jason's hat. I know you haven't been to HHN, in 10 years. But like when you see this shirt, is this something that grabbed you just as a Jason fan.
Yeah, it's a good shirt. Their merch sometimes, as far as their shirts go, can be a little hit or miss.
Mhm.
And I think like the Freddy versus Jason shirt that Wonderful's wearing right now, I also bought that while we were there.
Same.
That's a really good shirt.
Same.
But yeah, this one looks good. It feels like something you might see in like a Hot Topic in a good way.
Good way.
In the
in a good way.
heydays.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair.
But I don't know that I would necessarily buy this shirt because, like Robert said, I wear a lot of hoodies, so I don't do a lot of back graphics. 'Cause
Right.
it just
So
covers it all up.
right.
But other than that, I think it does look really good.
Sick. Sick.
Remember, there's going to be another shirt.
For
There'll
sure.
be more Friday the 13th shirts.
For sure.
That's what I was going to say is with all the announcements still to come. And I know this shirt will be there by the time August 30th is around the corner.
Here's what I will say, and I think to kind of add on,
Mhm.
I knew this was a shirt that you really liked, right? And
Mhm.
usually when we go to HHN, you have to pick and choose. You can't be like, okay, I want this one, this one, this one, this one. Because again, we don't have our BFF Nicole around to kind of hook us up with a discount.
Right.
But with that, I didn't want you to be in a scenario because I felt like this on so many levels was just such a good shirt to feel like you had to pick and choose. So
Right.
this is kind of like got out of the way type
Mhm.
thing to be able to pick something else, or even if there is another Jason shirt that you're like, oh shit, I really want this one.
Right.
And to
right.
not feel bad about getting it because we usually do walk away with
That's
things.
fair. That's fair. I mean, we're just aching for that Art the Clown and Jason shirt, aren't we, boys?
Oh yeah, Art the Clown still needs to be announced.
I mean, it won't be HHN, but I would probably pick up a Linda Cardellini Pamela shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. God dang, I bet that's going to be a fun one.
Here's a fun question for you.
Give it to
Because
me.
we know how Horror Nights the last couple of years have tied in their houses with food. What is the Jason food going to be? Is it going to be a hockey mask? Maybe a
Buddy!
s'more?
So, what a fun fact. I thought that once it
I
got
do
announced,
feel like
I
there
didn't-
might be like a cabin looking.
Oh, it's got to be
Yeah.
a lunch. It's got to be a lunch thing. Like it's got to be an outside of a cabin. Here's the lunch hall pickup window.
Yeah, like a cabin looking
I think-
booth.
right. I
Hot
think
dog type.
hot dog. I
Mhm.
think you get a cheeseburger. Hope to God it's not the fucking donut cheeseburger.
Oh my god.
I like
Slaughtered
the
muffin.
slaughter. Fucking poor dog's going to get a goddamn. Fucking
Just trying to think
dessert.
of something for like drowning, like a soup.
That's the drink.
Ah, there you go.
With
yeah,
an ice
yeah.
cube shaped like a little kid.
Yes, yes, yes.
God.
Or you
No,
have
but
the
put
Jason in
grenadine in
chains.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
just put grenadine in whatever drink. so
Yeah,
it's bloody.
grenadine
Ah,
and blue.
good call,
It'll
good
just be
call,
the
good call.
fucking Bruce or
Uh-huh.
whatever the fuck it's
The
called.
shark bite or
Just-
whatever. Shark
Yeah,
attack.
the
Yeah,
shark
yeah,
bite.
yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
the
Did
shark
they ever
attack.
say what Pamela cooked? Because she was the cook, right?
She was the cook. God, could you imagine if the person that hands you food is just wearing a turtleneck shirt all night?
Wow.
That would be awesome. What a
don't,
baller.
Don't get me excited.
Yeah, no, this is, but the food wise, I definitely think it's going to be camp foods. Maybe even like a Franken beans kind of, pie.
Franken beans.
Something s'mores, probably. That's a camp food.
A s'more,
Yeah.
as you said,
Yeah.
maybe
Dessert.
even in the mask, like if it's open faced.
Yeah.
So it's
I mean, you
like,
got to compete with that Ghostbuster one last year. So
or yeah, but you know what? It was a hit. So
was,
if
yeah.
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm
How'd
very
you get the Frank
interested.
above the
I
beans?
I don't think that this is the one. Like when I keep thinking of what is that? The alley place or whatever where Quiet Place was last year.
Mhm.
Like the
Oh, that
food.
alley.
I
Yeah.
don't
Thing alley,
think. Yeah, I don't think that this is
That
the
no.
property for that.
Oh no, this will be where Ghostbusters booth was.
Yes. Yes.
This-
Okay. Fair.
this is where
Fair.
this
Fair.
is
Fair.
going to be.
Yeah.
And
New
it's
York.
got to be a sound stage if it's going to be woods. Like they
Mm.
got to make this baby look big.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
for
actually
sure.
say it's probably in the Quiet Place.
That's very fair. That's very fair. Which is, I think that's also where Cabin in the Woods was too. Because
Yeah,
like
that
that
or
makes
Evil Dead,
that that makes that's what makes me think of that entire scenario. And even hate to say this, but Evil Dead, the way that they did like the forest and the way that you felt in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they have some really good background with this, and
Right.
the fact that ILO is back with this makes me very comfortable.
Back at this name only. Get out of here.
I'm just saying, like
yeah,
there's just been so many
he's-
times where I
he's
feel like they
there.
have fumbled
Yeah.
IPs.
Yeah.
And
Oh no, I think this year.
I'm very excited. Like this is the year that I'm like, okay, HHN is back.
Here's what I've realized, and what I think they realized. No matter how big they think the cult community is,
It
ain't bringing in the tourists because of your sweet fucking rad originals. No, they're coming in because they want to go through, live the movies. Look at the commercials so far. Both of them dealing with watching movies.
But I mean, even think of their new park of Epic. It's all, while there are older properties, it's all properties. It's nothing
like Celestial Park's the only.
You're right,
original.
right. So I'm like, this is what brings in the people that of those properties. That's what they want to see. They want to, like you said, live the movies, which is what their slogan originally was.
Can we talk about the Epic universe took so much of the fucking budget? They were like, we don't have enough budget to give actors or any kind of storytelling because the last 5 years of HHN commercials has been some kind of teaser with some kind of main focus. Bitch, show the same TV in a room.
Yeah, the TV.
I know, kid. Move over. We gotta fucking film this commercial.
Honestly, I'm surprised it doesn't say powered by AI. Like at this point.
You know what though? I'm shocked that it, like I said, I mean, I joked about it at the beginning, like that it doesn't say like LG or Samsung.
Right.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Jason's going to be sponsored. His overalls are going to have sponsors like he's fucking Red Guardian at the end of the fucking.
I mean, you say that, you know how expensive it is.
Look very close with the mask.
Go to Epic.
Okay.
So Jason's gonna be wearing a NASCAR suit, is what you're telling me.
Right. Does anybody have any other question, statements, or surprises that they hope to see in this house?
Sorry, I'm just thinking of Jason having Wonder Bread on his mask, and he's like, "Man, this is sure dangerous, but I do love me some Wonder Bread."
You don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
I will say that this is the first time that it actually makes me want to do behind the scenes.
I love that you say that because I want this to be.
And I say that because when we went through Halloween and all of the little tips and tricks that we learned, it was so cool and so neat to see and hear so many of the things that I just feel like this is just such a freaking staple. I know I keep saying it, but it is such a freaking staple.
He's so hot right now.
And this is the first one that's like, okay, give me this. But what
Besides
sucks
Halloween,
about it,
like, that's how I feel.
but
I'm
what
like,
sucks
this is
about
what
it is like
I
you
know.
won't know if this is going to be in the 3 or 6 until announcing.
Yeah.
Like what a week before, I think you get the email of what's included.
I think it's a little longer than that because
I think it starts before the event starts.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's like a week before the first
I thought
one.
you meant like the week before the event starts.
But it literally is. It's like
they did
a week and a half before.
No, remember they did the unmasking the horror before the event even
yeah.
began. And then they
but that was just this
2
past
weeks before
year.
Oh, they'll do it again. They want money.
There.
These motherfuckers want money. You
It
think
actually
they ain't
makes-
gonna do it again? They'll unmask the horror right now. Come on, grab a brick.
It makes me
Put it up.
I want to go back and look to see how much earlier. But I know that was such a huge issue last year because they had to have them all ready.
Right.
They couldn't be.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it'll be interesting
Yeah.
what they lay down. Anybody else have any things? No? Okay.
Select dates starting August 22nd.
There it is.
The
the
behind the scenes.
Yep.
So
Behind
that's
the Streams
before.
Unmasking the Horror Tour is
Okay.
August
That's it.
22nd.
So it's what, 6 days before the event starts? Is the event
6 or
28th?
7? The 29th, I believe, is when it starts.
Yeah.
Is that including premium night?
Premium night is the 28th.
Okay. Cool. Now, last bit of Jason news that we've gotten so far. Again, I'll come on later after the interview if there is something to be announced. But Womp Stomp Studios, the team behind the Never Hike Alone series, they decided they were going to announce stuff left and right today, and I'm quite impressed with it. The first thing that I saw that they announced is they're taking the entire series that they did with Never Hike Alone, and they're doing the final cut, which you can sign up for their Indiegogo right now. And basically what they're doing is just making one coherent film with all the short films, and they're adding in deleted scenes. They're adding in new special effects. They're editing it in a way to feel like you are watching a movie. I mean, they're doing a lot of cool stuff there. And Vincent DeSanti, I like that guy. Did a great interview with him. I'll have to put that on the Death Curse Club eventually. But like, I'm excited that they're making this film because I bought the Never Hike Alone 2 Blu-ray, and that movie wowed me. I mean, Tom Matthews coming back to play Tommy Jarvis. It's a cool story, cool kills. So I'm excited about that. They also have an animated movie coming out that they announced earlier last week that you can Indiegogo for right there. And then this fall, they're going to have a Never Hike Alone video game for PC, which is basically a same carbon copy look and feel of the Friday the 13th game from Nintendo. And you're traveling as the camper guy, not the camper guy. He's whatever YouTube star who likes to go on hikes. You're playing as him as he goes through this woods, and then Ghost Jason coming after you, which I thought was fantastic. And they have their own toy. They have a Ghost Jason toy coming out themselves. So I feel like Womp Stomp Studios, two things out of this. A, so much announced that it wowed me that they were getting over on Jason Universe, even though Jason Universe won, obviously, with HHN, the toy announcement, the cast and stuff. But Womp Stomp Studios wasn't sitting down. Two, how the fuck are they doing all this without getting sued by Sean F? Goddamn. Who does he know that Sean killed? Because I don't understand.
He was in the Diddy. No.
So much more. Oh, Vincent was like, we have Ghost Jason. You have Oil Jason. A Friday off.
Oh my God.
It's horny.
And then I looked. I was like, what?
You're all screwed. Get it? Horny rough. Anyways, you hear this about Womp Stomp coming out. Wonderful. Do you follow Womp any?
I have watched all of their shorts, so I'm into the idea of kind of piecing it all together with some extra stuff and turning it into kind of a feature length. Right. Because everything is really well done that they do. Everything is so high produced. So, yeah, kind of putting it into one coherent long story feels like a good end game.
Nice. Okay. How about you, Jim? You're a collector of all things. You like the Jason property. You like Never Hike Alone. How do you feel about them doing so much, and how are they not getting sued?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the key, as far as I understand it, is that you're not allowed to make money off of it. Now, I don't know how that works when you're releasing so much stuff and you're obviously, selling it, unless it's, putting it back into the things that you're, filming. Then maybe you can kind of get away with it that way. I think that's how you basically, as far as fan films go, that's how you don't get sued, is that you're not allowed to actually make money off of it. Okay.
Robert, my friend, my liege, my wolf man.
I have no idea how they're not getting sued. Yeah, I have no idea.
He was like, I just went on Lawyer Wiki. Don't know how it works.
I was honestly looking up any information about new news today from them, but
Okay.
No, I don't know how they get away with it. I guess because it's on YouTube and it's not released through like a big studio or something else like that.
Right.
But if they're selling Blu-rays, yeah, I have no idea. But I've seen it. It's fun. It's a good fan-fic thing that they're doing, and I'm glad they're continuing it and making video games and all that stuff for people who've been waiting for video game announcements. I think it's good for the fans.
Yeah, you hear that, Gun? I've been waiting all goddamn day. Whatever. Awesome. That's about the news that we have. I'd like to thank Jim for stopping on. He's going to be back on in a little while because we have a little thing called Dream Fright, where we made a little movie called Jason's Forever Friday the 13th. So Jim will be back for that. Thank you for popping on, my friend.
Oh yeah, that's what I do.
Bye. Rob, thank
my
you for
God.
popping on.
Rob.
If you
I
want,
got bucks to send to you.
yeah, we have
Like-
horny Ralph.
What's wrong with you? No. Oh my
Yes, we
God.
do. Well, I've made a joke and it's coming to fruition. You're getting your present on your birthday.
Yes.
Yes.
If you want to come on in an hour and talk more, Jason, you're more than welcome to after the interview if you feel like it.
Is there a watch along?
There is a watch along. No one chose what to watch on said watch along. They liked the
You,
post.
Chad.
They liked it. They didn't offer the 3 choices. So we're either going to Patreon watch along to part 6, part 7, or 10.
Mhm.
I don't know what any of those movies mean.
So we'll see you at the watch along.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on.
Always, thank you.
Wonderful. Booby, baby.
Zachary Hilton. Boo.
It's been a fun time. I don't know
great.
what night you have in store. I don't know what tequila's going to come out. I don't know what things
We're just on the Broken Skull IPAs right now, but apparently I'm looking like I'm doing other things according to people. So just having a
I
night.
love you.
Just having a night.
I go with previous.
I guess apparently having a pen in your hand means you're doing things. I don't know.
Look, Jason saw what he
taking
saw.
notes
Okay?
all day. That's all
Okay.
I've been doing is just
Notes?
drawing.
Notes for what? Is that a penis?
Maybe it was. Maybe I was getting horny like Ralph.
Horny Ralph.
Just
Next,
take them off.
next
my screen.
Death Curse.
Don't
All
you
right,
take me off.
I'm-
I can put myself back.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God, I was going to try to kick him off.
He's laughing so hard. He's dying.
He is dying. Just like all those kids died
Yeah.
via
Oh.
Jason.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'd like to thank all my guests that came on right there, but right now we need to get ready for this interview. So I had the honor and privilege to talk to Adam Marcus
So
about
lucky.
his film, Jason Goes to Hell. Underrated, I still say, and you'll find out why and more because of what's coming. So I'm going to put this up one more time. We have a T Public. If you want to check that out, that'd be great.
Rock
if you want
that
to use,
shirt.
huh?
Rock
Back
that shirt.
with another interview here on
Wow.
the Death Curse Club, and this is a big one. This is one that I am super excited about. He is a man that has made a film very integral about my horror life from when I was younger all the way to now, and there's so much happening with this said movie this year that I am excited to talk to the one, the only. We have Adam Marcus. Thank you, Adam Marcus, for coming
Hey, brother.
on.
My pleasure to be here, man. I love it.
Oh no, we are big fans of you, your movies. I can't believe you're here talking to me about Jason Goes to Hell and the future of said movie and a documentary that you have coming out. So I think what I want to ask you first here is like, is the fandom now like growing more and more into Jason Goes to Hell fans? Because the internet can be a-holes at one point, but I feel like there's a turn coming with this movie with its originality.
Thank you, brother. Thanks. To answer your question, quite simply, yes, that is everything you just said is factual. I will also tell you,
it's interesting because I've had several people who because the 4K just came out, there's been a lot of people reviewing sort of what happened back in the day to now. And it's amazing because when the film first hit theaters, we did not have this wave of hate. That was not what happened. And in fact, we were better reviewed than most of the Friday the 13th franchise from actual critical press. So we'd gotten a lot of push. We had an audience that, look, anybody who went to see the movie back in the day when it first came out, there was not one theater where the audience didn't leap from their seats at that last shot, right?
Right.
Also, there was not a theater where fans weren't cheering when Jason reemerged from the floorboards in Act 3. It is one of those films that had so many big moments in the theater of applause and laughter and craziness. And then right at not just the birth of the internet, but a little bit after the birth of the internet and into YouTube, there was this douche nozzle who made this video about how New Line killed the Friday the 13th franchise. And that video solely started a wave of anger towards this movie. And by the way, look, if people don't like the movie, awesome. That's fine. I'm great with people not liking the movie. No one's going to make a movie where everybody's happy, where everybody's thrilled about what you did, especially in our genre, especially with sequels.
Right.
It's a very tricky business, and people get a little crazy about it. Here's the thing. I made a movie that was radically different than the films that came before it. I also made a movie as a fan of the franchise, and I fucking hate when people actually try to say that I'm not a fan of the franchise. Like, bite me. Look, the guy who made Freddy versus Jason, he was not a fan of the franchise and went on to tell people that. Like, he had no problem saying it. I have been there since the first movie, literally been there since the first movie was made. Okay.
Right.
I'm in the room with Sean Cunningham when I'm 11 years old when he's making that movie. So this idea that I am not, bathed in the blood of Friday the 13th is nuts. Right. I made a movie as a fan of what I wanted to see in the franchise and how disrespected I had felt by the Paramount movies. I know. We're not allowed to say anything about the Paramount movies. Look, the truth be told, Sean Cunningham made the first movie. His protege made the next two because Steve Miner was Sean's protege.
Right.
Made the next two. Susan Cunningham, his wife, cut part 2, which is still, for my money, is the second best film in the franchise. And then the rest of the franchise was really Paramount's baby. Okay.
Right.
And look, by the time I got to the franchise, Jason had been killed, had been a sackhead like the Elephant Man, then given a hockey mask in the middle of summer. He had been removed from the franchise entirely, and there was an imposter playing Jason. So when people talk about Jason being in a movie, Jason's not in that movie. He's not in that movie. Okay.
Right.
He's also only in the last 12 seconds of the first movie, for God's sakes. So then Jason was resurrected, God bless, by Tommy McLaughlin, and that is my favorite of all the Friday the 13th films.
Right.
He's resurrected Frankenstein style into a zombie murdering machine. Then they're so out of ideas at Paramount, they went, what if he fought Carrie?
Yep.
So now we got a telekinetic versus zombie movie. Then I know it'll be Jason, the baddest villain in all of filmdom, versus the baddest city in the world, right? So we're going to put Jason versus New York. But in fact, Jason really doesn't get to New York until late in the film. He's on a boat for most of it. So it's Jason on a boat ride. And then he gets to Montreal.
Yeah. Montreal.
And 2 shots in New York. So, by the time I got to the franchise, I love how people think it's like this purist thing up till that point.
Yeah.
The timeline makes no sense. And let's be honest, from part 1 to part 2, talk about like really not making any sense. So I come in with this movie and go, you know what? Wouldn't it be fun if we actually like had some mythology around this? Wouldn't it be awesome if we actually get back to what Pamela was in the first movie and deal with her grief and her need to bring her son back? And what if she used the dark arts to do that? And what if we resurrect Jason as even more magical, which started with part 6? And now I'm taking that to the furthest degree, because I've always thought of Jason Goes to Hell as a sister film to part 6, to Lives. And for me, I was like, and let's make this movie more like The Thing than anything else. Like, The Thing is, you know, to this day, one of my top 3 favorite horror films. And so I wanted to make, and I love when people are like, it's like The Hidden. It is like The Hidden, but I had never seen The Hidden up until that point. And here's what's crazy about The Hidden. I made the movie for New Line Cinema. New Line Cinema was created when Bob Shea, the guy who ran New Line Cinema when I was there, started working with Jack Shoulder as a filmmaker. Okay. So him and Jack Shoulder kind of created New Line together. All right. With things like, you know, Alone in the Dark. And Jack Shoulder made The Hidden for New Line. Now, never once, not one time in the entire time we were making this movie, did anyone, including Bob Shea, ever come up to me and go, you know, this movie is a lot like The Hidden. Not one person who made the movie had anything to say to me about this, right? Not one person, not a heads up, nothing. So I make this movie that for me is what is a tribute to John Carpenter and a tribute to The Thing.
Absolutely.
And people go like to The Hidden, and I'm like, all right, look, by the way, I agree. It's very much like The Hidden. I saw The Hidden after Jason Goes to Hell, and I was like, oh shit. Truly. Like, I was like, no one wanted to tell me that these were similar. Jack Shoulder, by the way, Jack Shoulder is very sweet because he says it's, I take it as an homage. I'm like, perfect, Jack. You go right ahead. But truth be told, I was trying to make a movie that was not just a Friday the 13th film, but a film for fans of the genre, because I'm such a fan of the genre. And it's why there's so many in-joke references. There's so many references to other filmmakers and other films. And people didn't do that back then. It was a rare thing that anybody mentioned another filmmaker. Like, it didn't happen. And so I really did steep the movie in all of this stuff. By the way, so much so that the next job I was offered, I was offered Pumpkinhead 2 right after Jason Goes to Hell, which that was the whole thing. But then I was offered Scary Movie, which was the original title of Scream.
Oh, wow.
That was the first movie I was offered. And I was offered it because they saw Jason Goes to Hell and went, wow, this guy is completely meta. Like this, he's already doing the stuff that's in this script. And then, of course, I heard Wes had read it and loved it and wanted to do it. I was like, I'm out. There's no way I'm beating Uncle Wes. That's not happening. But I got to tell you, it's it was not hated at the beginning. It was hated later on. It became this thing that was fun to be a bully to, I guess. And look, the big problem people have, they have 2 problems. One, not enough hockey mask. Okay, all right. Okay. By the way, we have more hockey mask in our movie than most of the other films.
Right.
For screen time, right? But the other thing, they didn't like the body hopping. Okay, cool. Both of those are complaints that I think I understand. I get where you're coming from. When people say there's not enough Jason in the movie, I go, fuck you.
The whole movie's Jason.
The whole thing is Jason. So you don't like that Jason's wearing other outfits, but you love part 2, don't you?
Right.
So okay, so I'm sorry, Sophie, as long as it's just a big lumbering thing, then you're okay? Is that what it is? Because you don't have a problem with Sackhead Jason. You don't have a problem with hockey mask Jason. You sure as shit don't have a problem when they take the damn mask off and it's like Goonie Goo Goo Jason. So I don't really know what that issue is because it's not real. If there are conceptual problems that you have with the movie, that's totally cool, and I'll take that on, man. And I will take responsibility for it. I won't put that on Sean. I won't put that on anyone. Yes, did he tell me to get rid of the fucking hockey mask? He sure as shit did. He sure as shit did, because he hated the hockey mask. He thought it was stupid.
Right.
Flat out. And said so. Said so.
Mhm.
He hated that Paramount wanted to make a part 2 that was about Jason Voorhees. He hated that idea, didn't want to do it. That's why he
Right.
didn't direct the next movie. He
Right.
hated Sackhead Jason because he went, it's Elephant Man, the serial killer. What are you doing? And when they brought up the hockey mask, he went, wow. And I thought the sack was stupid. Literally, quote unquote.
Oh, wow.
So this is why the man didn't make any other films until my movie. And
Right.
when he decided to make it, look, one, he wanted to make a lot more money. And
Mhm.
two, he wanted to get rid of that hockey mask. He wanted to right the wrongs because, look, Sean Cunningham never met an idea that John Carpenter had that he wouldn't steal. So
Right.
John Carpenter wanted to make Tales of Halloween. He didn't want to make Michael Myers movies. He wanted to make movies about Halloween.
Right.
Sean Cunningham went, ooh, that's really cool. I'm going to make movies about the unluckiest day of the year.
Mhm.
And that's how Friday the 13th was born.
Right.
He wasn't like, God, I'm going to make a series of films about this killer that's not the killer of my movie. It's a little boy in a lake and what?
Right.
So I understand his befuddlement over that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
My love of the genre of this slice of the genre was, okay, how do we make Jason scary again? Like, what can we do to make Jason scary again? Because here's my problem with all horror sequels.
Mhm.
By the third movie, we are no longer cheering for the heroes. We are rooting with the villains.
Right. Absolutely.
You are just waiting for someone to get killed, and you can't wait to see how inventive the kill is, right?
Right.
And
right.
it's why in subsequent chapters of all of these franchises, the characters get dopier and more one-dimensional all the way through. It's just
Mhm.
it's the way these movies work. And they do that at the studio level. They sit around and talk about, don't make them too likable.
Mhm.
The final girl can be likable, sure, and maybe the boyfriend. That's it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everybody else has to be a cardboard cutout because
Mm.
the kids have to have a fun time when we murder them. Well, that's not a horror movie anymore. I mean, nobody watches the first Jaws and roots for the shark. Nobody.
Right. No. No, we don't.
So when you watch Friday the 13th Part 1, Part 2, those are really scary movies, truly scary movies. And honestly, Part 2 is almost like a rebirth of the franchise because it does become a new killer and the rest. When you look at Nightmare on Elm Street 1, terrifying. I mean, really terrifying, right?
Absolutely.
You look at Texas Chainsaw, you look at any of these movies, the killers are terrifying, and we see ourselves through the eyes of our lead characters. It's why the characters in most of these films in the first movies are the most interesting characters.
Mhm.
Because the filmmaker wasn't thinking about siding with the villain. The filmmaker is going, no, I want to side with my heroes so that when they get killed, we're upset. As an audience, we're pissed.
Right.
Great. I wanted to do that again with Jason Goes to Hell. So it's like, okay, I'm going to rebirth the series the same way that Part 2 did, or even that Tommy did to some degree with Part 6, because you didn't know it was coming in Part 6. Like, you were like, holy shit,
No.
Jason's a zombie now. Now what's going to happen?
Mhm.
And so with Goes to Hell, I really wanted to do something that was unexpected. And so I had to get rid of the hockey mask. I wanted to do something scary. I wanted to make characters you cared about. I didn't want it to just be a couple of people you cared about and everybody else is disposable.
Mhm.
And look, moreover, I wanted to pay tribute. I was 21 when I was writing the screenplay. I was 23 when I directed the movie.
Right.
I wanted to pay tribute to everything that had come before me. I wanted to honor everyone I loved that
Mhm.
taught me how to be a filmmaker. So, Creighton Duke is an invention born out of the movie Jaws. He just is Quint. He's Quint. He's the
Mhm.
same guy, right?
Mhm.
It's just
Right.
this beautiful, badass mofo who's playing the part. That's the difference,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just lucky enough to get Stephen Williams to agree to do it. But
So
dude, I mean, he literally says, I'll get you the mask, the machete, the whole damn thing. He says
That's
that
right.
line.
You're right.
I mean, we wore our references on our sleeve because I wasn't trying to hide it. I was trying to go, no. I'm in this position because I learned from people smarter than me.
Mm-hmm.
and I want to pay tribute to that. So, dude,
Mhm.
yeah, the wave of hate, it was a slow rising thing that happened more because of the internet and more because of YouTube. God
Right.
bless YouTube. I don't have anything against YouTube. It's great.
Right. Right.
And now what's happened is there's a ton of people who saw Jason as their first Jason. Jason Goes to Hell is their first Jason. It's their first
Yes.
Friday 13th. Those folks would go back and look at the other movies and go, these are boring. Because they were used to
100%.
Jason Goes to Hell now. Now they were like, wait,
100%.
why isn't there more magical shit happening in this? Like, why isn't
Right.
there more crazy shit? You know?
Right.
And look, you know, I tried to take a pretty modernist view on everything in Jason Goes to Hell. I know that it rubs some people the wrong way. I don't care. I don't care.
Right.
I made a movie that I am still proud of. And by the way, this movie that is so divisive, right? That you know, you got fans. Literally, there are fans who wish me cancer. Okay,
Right.
over this movie, and I'm like, okay, you need some fucking professional help, my man.
Right.
Right. But this movie that is so divisive, it's funny. It just came out on 4K.
Right.
And the number of people buying it is staggering.
There
And-
it is right there.
Let's see. It was on VHS, and it was the biggest selling VHS that New Line had ever sold because they sold a rated and unrated copy. It was the first time that was ever done in 2 editions and the first printing, right?
Wow.
So every mom and pop shop had to buy both editions. They couldn't buy one; they had to buy 2.
Mhm.
Okay? Suddenly, it doubled New Line's profits. Okay,
Mhm.
so there was a VHS, there was a laser disc at the same time. Then it
Mhm.
went to DVD. Then it went to Blu-ray in a shitty Blu-ray, 2 Blu-ray disc with that and X. Then
Right.
it got its own Blu-ray in the beautiful set from Scream Factory,
Mhm.
and now it's got a 4K. And here's what's incredible: the number of people who fucking hate this movie who own every single edition of the movie.
Every version.
It's amazing to me. Like, God,
Right.
by the way, God bless them. Like, I love you for it. First off, you know, thank you. And, you know, it's why I have a pool. And two, it's like, God bless you for actually being such a fan of this franchise that even a movie that pisses you off, you keep buying it, you keep watching it.
Right.
That's amazing to me. Like, you're the best. That's a real fan. I mean, that's a real fan.
Truly.
That said, the number of people who now really seem to regard the film as special.
Mhm.
By the way, I'm also always very respectful of anybody who comes at me and says, "Look, it's a great horror movie. It's a shitty Friday the 13th film." I go, "Cool. That's your opinion, and that's great. Like, that's
Mhm.
at least you're realizing. Wait a second, this movie has a lot going for it that I might not have recognized originally, or that I went, God, I wish this movie just didn't say Friday the 13th. I just wish it wasn't Jason, right?
Mhm.
But I love everything that was happening inside the movie. Well, that's, again, I can't disregard or disrespect your opinion. I don't disrespect anybody's opinion. You can have your opinion. But
Right.
for me, when somebody comes at me that way, I go, yeah, can't argue with you.
Mhm.
Can't argue with you. If that's your feeling, I get it. For me, this is where I wanted the series to go. And by the way, for anybody who loves to go like, it's not canon, it's canon. So
Yeah.
everybody can cut it out with that shit. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Paramount films are not the only films. Stop it. Stop it.
Mhm.
Okay. You can have that crap in your mind. That's fine. But from the standpoint of the franchise and the way the franchise works, Jason Goes to Hell and X
Mhm.
and Freddy versus Jason are all canon, kids. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, my film was produced by the guy who directed the first movie, for God's sake.
Right. And what's really impressive to me for again, it's the first 3 Friday the 13th I've ever seen. And how you've mentioned how the VHSs that came out to the DVDs.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things, you are one of my first commentaries I ever heard.
Ah, that's awesome.
I listened to your commentary on the DVD, and it brought it to another. It's almost like how Kevin Smith is so he's drawn to his movies, and he's always. And I feel you're in that same camp of.
Thank you, man.
I love the fact that you go out here and you promote this so much so you're a part of the new documentary That's now. Is this coming out this year to
Oh, yeah.
a wider audience? I
Yes.
know you're traveling it. Currently.
Yes, I am. I'm touring with it right now. We're actually just about in a couple weeks from now. I'm going to be heading to Texas Frightmare, where we're going to be doing the North American premiere of the movie. We've already premiered. We did the world premiere in Glasgow at Fright Fest, which was amazing. It was amazing.
I bet.
Oh, dude, it was I mean, Fright Fest is sort of my second home. Like that, they have now become family with me. And I did the UK premiere of Secret Santa there a few years ago, and
nice.
They have literally given me now a blank ticket. Any movie I make, they want to premiere.
That's awesome.
Which is amazing. And look, by the way, I will always show up. Like I show up to festivals. Like I actually pay the money to go fly somewhere and do that. We're showing it at Frightmare. Then we just got asked to be at the Ravenheart Festival in Norway. It'll be showing there. It's going to be showing there on June 13th, on Friday the 13th. They're doing that. They're doing a Jason Goes to Hell and that double feature. Then on the same day, I'm going to be doing the LA premiere of the doc and Jason Goes to Hell. The 4K version of Jason Goes to Hell and the doc are both going to be shown at the Gardena Cinema in LA. So that's the first showing in Los Angeles. And then there's a couple of drive-in spectaculars that are happening that I'm going to go do later this year. So I'm lining up all this stuff. There's a lot of fests that want the movie, so we're working that out right now.
Right.
But the movie will be out on Blu-ray in October. I can't say from who yet because we're just finishing up the contract, but that's happening. Wow. And that edition is going to be insane. I mean, it's insane. So the movie is it's a feature length film. It's 111 minutes, I think, is the final running time on it. And we are all incredibly proud of it. And look, as the producer of the movie, I demanded that we do a feature film. I was like, guys, look, I know we can do a 4-hour movie. Like, I got it. I got it. We shot over 100 hours of footage on this movie.
Wow.
100 hours of interviews.
Wow.
And so, I was like, look, I know we can do that movie. And for the people who love, Crystal Like Memories, they want to sit there with a 4-hour, 5-hour movie. Like, they love that shit. And so do I. That said, I let my audience know. I let when we were dealing with it on Indiegogo, when we were first, putting the movie together, I said, guys, I am committed to making a feature film. This is a professional feature film. This isn't a fan movie. This is a feature documentary. Right. So we were committed to that. And Michael Felsher, who directed the film, was 100% behind that. And Eric Beatner, who cut the film, all of us, we had a plan. Like, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be under 2 hours so that it can be shown at festivals. So we can schedule it in movie theaters. Because again, the number of docs now, dude, there's so many documentaries about films, about the making of movies, but they're all just ending up streaming. Here's the thing. I fucking hate streaming. Now, by the way, I know it's our industry, and everything I've made is streaming. Everything I've made is out there.
Right.
Here's the problem with streaming, and it's the thing that nobody seems to get, and I keep trying to preach it to people until they'll understand it. Streaming is the death of filmmaking. Why? Because filmmakers can't make any money on streaming. We cannot make movies that don't make money.
Right.
When it comes to this film, when it comes to this documentary, not one person on production, not one of us has been paid a dime. None of us have made money. We've worked tirelessly on this movie for 5 years. 5 years making this film.
Right.
None of the producers on this movie made a penny. Now, there are people who worked on the film in camera, in directing, in editing, in those jobs that got money up front. Absolutely, we pay the people that we work with.
Right.
But none of us took a dime. You can't then turn around and tell my company, hey, by the way, we just want it. So put it out there and don't make any of the money back. By the way, I put my own money into this outside of the Indiegogo fund. Right. Because I'm
Right.
like, look, we're going to finish this movie. We're going to finish it professionally. We didn't do in-house color timing on Da Vinci. We went to a sound house, to a color house. We had,
Right.
Anarchy Post in LA did an unbelievable job on this movie. It's gorgeous now, and it sounds incredible.
Mhm.
They did all that work. We paid for that work. So
Right.
here's the deal. I wanted a movie that was a professional film that would go to theaters, because I think documentaries should go to theaters. I don't think they should just go straight to Netflix.
I agree.
I think, or Shudder, or Screenbox. And I love all these places. I get what their business model is. I get what they do. But there's no way for filmmakers to return on investment. It's impossible. So for
Right.
us to do that, we need to roll these movies out slowly. So it's going into theaters. It's gonna do what festival run it can do.
Mhm.
And then it'll come to Blu-ray. Now, here's what's great about the Blu-ray. So once we go to streaming, you'll be able to see the 111-minute movie. Great. You'll get to see
Right.
that. Okay.
Right.
Here's what you won't get. What we're doing on the disc, on the physical media, and I'm a big physical media guy. I think
Same.
it's the only way we're going to fix our industry is by going back to physical media.
Right.
On the physical media, you get the 4-hour movie,
Okay.
because you get the full feature length film,
Mhm.
and then you get 13, of course, 13 mini movies,
Mm.
and then a ton of other extras. Okay.
Wow.
So you end up with over 4 hours of material on that disc
Right.
that all just contributes to the same subject. So it's not like we did a feature film that we did behind the scenes. No, this is all documentary footage. You get more behind the scenes stuff. You get more of everything.
Right.
And that was for me to go, great. For the fans who are real fans of this genre, who are real fans of these movies, they're gonna buy the physical media. They're gonna go out and do that. By the way,
Mhm.
anyone who bought the disc on the Indiegogo campaign got a fucking deal, man. Like they
Mhm.
got it for almost half price of what it's going to be to anybody else.
Right. Right.
And we did that on purpose. Like we knew how much this disc was going to be when it retailed. But the thing is that I want to support not just myself as a filmmaker, but I want to support filmmaking in general. I got to tell you, dude, the number of festivals I've been to in the last 8 years,
Mhm.
where I'm sitting with young filmmakers, we're all talking about our movies and what we made. And I have people who have deals, who have put their movies out. The movies are streaming and they're hits on streaming. And I say, how much money you make? And they go, not a fucking dime.
Right.
And they go, well, that's unsustainable. How can we keep making movies if we can't support the filmmaking? I'm not talking about getting rich. That's some bullshit.
Right.
Anybody who thinks that filmmakers are like rolling in dough, no. You can be a million other things and make more money than a filmmaker.
Right.
But if we're going to be able to continue doing this, you have to be able to make a decent living. Decent. Again, not
100%.
millions of dollars.
Right.
There's too many brilliant artists out there and young minds that want to get into filmmaking, and less are we able to say you can support yourself doing it.
Right. Well, it's like actors that you see out there because they only film 1 or 2 things a month, but the camera guy has got to work steadily every day. The writers have to make 3 to 4 different scripts a year, and God knows how long each one of those takes. So
yeah,
that's wild. That is wild.
It's the number of people, even when you talk about actors, people have this perception that like they make a ton of money. They make a really good living when they're working.
Right.
An actor works rarely. And I'm talking about actors that are successful work rarely.
Mm-hmm.
You're off most of the time. So what people don't take into account is the amount of auditioning they have to do, the amount of classes they have to take, the amount of headshots they have to do. Like the amount of money an actor puts out on a daily basis for their craft and for their work. You don't make that back for years and years.
Right.
And when you start to make it back, it's amazing. It's like there's an audience like, oh, these people are making too much money. No, they're not. You're thinking of the top actor. Yeah. Brad Pitt makes a lot of money. By the way, Brad Pitt also is a hell of a producer and makes a lot of content that most people don't even recognize he made. Have you seen Adolescent?
I have not.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Oh, my God. It's extraordinary. But it's a British show, right? So it's a 4-hour British show. And by the way, the first time I've ever seen the gimmick of one shot per episode.
Oh, really?
It's the first time I've ever seen it work. I always think that thing. I always think whenever anybody goes, the entire movie is one shot, I'm like, well, then it's going to be boring as fuck. Because you just eliminated the whole process of what makes film interesting, which is editing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, you are removing one of the only, there are only two arts that are purely cinematic, purely cinematography and editing. That's it. All the rest of us can do our jobs in other arenas. But those two things are what make cinema. And you're literally taking half of the things away.
Right.
But adolescence, wow, does it work? And again, the only reason that show exists is Brad Pitt.
Right. He backed it and got it out there.
Right. So we never complain about a CEO who makes T-shirts and, is walking home with $10 million a year on bonuses. We get pissed off at a guy like Brad Pitt. What are we kidding? Like, I'm sorry. You have way more entertainment from this dude than you have. Right.
Yeah.
But there's always this sort of us versus them thing with actors, which I never understand. Anyway, we're off the subject. Here's the thing.
You're good.
This is I wave the flag of rolling out movies in a way that creates a surge of people being excited about getting to the next part of it. So streaming is not going to happen until next year. No way. Because I'm going to give the physical media time to breathe. I want that disc to have a chance to have a life, and then we'll stream it. But not until
I love that because, again, I am a physical media guy, and I want to be able to enjoy that disc and see things that other people aren't going to unless if they get that. And then, like you said, the streaming gets there. My question for, speaking of physical media, the Arrowhead 4K, which came out, did you get a chance to do anything new for that disc?
Yeah, I mean, I came in. Well, they asked me to come in and supervise the transfer so that we would clean up the color timing and the print and all that. But I'm always baffled when they ask the director to come in and do that. Yes, the director should be there, but I also go like, wouldn't you like the cinematographer there too, since they lit the movie? Like, wouldn't that be good? And they were like, well, I mean, do you talk to the? I'm like, yeah, he's one of my closest friends. Of course he has to talk to the cinematographer of the movie. So I called Bill and I said, hey, you want to come in and do this? He's like, my God, you're the first person to actually ask me to do it. I was like, well, yeah, because it's ridiculous. You should be there. And so he and I went in, along with my remarkable wife and partner, Deborah. And we sat there for days, color correcting the movie. And it is the single most beautiful version of this movie that's ever been put out there. It's gorgeous. Like the thing about Bill, Bill Dill, who was my cinematographer. Bill was, all of his background prior to my film was either in documentary movie making or documentary style movie making. Made an incredible movie called Sidewalk Stories, which was at Cannes a couple years before we worked together. But he was shooting for Robert Townsend and for the Wayans brothers before me. That's where he kind of cut his teeth on filmmaking. And the thing about Bill, and one of the reasons that I love working with him and loved his work, first we spoke exactly the same language. He had no interest in shooting Jason Goes to Hell. No interest. It was like, you're going to send me on a fucking Friday the 13th movie. His agent was a friend of mine. That's the only reason Bill came in to meet with me. But he was pissed at his agent for setting the meeting. And again, also, I was a kid. Like, he didn't know how young I was yet. But I was a kid. I had a beard, so he didn't know quite how young I was. But he knew I was young.
Right.
We started talking about film. And we got to a moment where we both started talking about Orson Welles' Magnificent Ambersons. And he was like, the Magnificent Ambersons? It's like, it's a favorite of mine. He's like, really? And we brought up a thing in that very first meeting about that movie that we used in Jason Goes to Hell. It's in the whole film. There's an eye light that's used. That's very famously in Ambersons when one of the lead characters reads this letter. There's this light in her eyes that gets extinguished, but it's this tiny pinprick of light, and it's a very dark shot. You can almost only see the pinprick of light. We use that for every person who became Jason. And if you watch the movie, you'll see that in their eyes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it was this idea of like, that's how we're following where he's going.
Right.
So it was just this visual gag. Here's the thing. The fact that we spoke for 3 hours on that first meeting. He was going to come meet me for 10 minutes and he sat there for 3 hours. He walked down the hall to his agent's office and he was supposed to shoot there was a Michael Jackson miniseries. It was on ABC. That was his job. Yeah. He gave up that job to do Jason Goes to Hell. Walked away from it. And here's the thing. Bill is an African-American cinematographer. And at that time, there were very few, and they never worked on white movies. They were never being hired. And so I didn't care what color he was, but because he shot so many movies with black actors, he understood how to shoot things, understanding the change between skin tones between black actors and white actors. Very few cinematographers were great at that back then because all they ever did was lit white faces, right?
Right.
Well, the reason why my movie looks the way it looks and why Creighton Duke looks as well lit as every other person in the shots with him is because I had a cinematographer who understood how to light that. Moreover, he understood how to let things go black in the background. He knew how to take darkness to this place that I had never met a cinematographer who could get the black that he could get on screen. When you watch the 4K, dude, in the background of shots, which I wanted there to be this inky black in the background, like India ink black, that dark, right? Because I wanted you always worried about what's coming out of that. Even if nothing happened, I wanted you worried about that dark space behind you. What Bill and I did in this transfer is we finally, not since it was seen in the theater, we finally went back to those color choices, to what we did originally. And it looks amazing. I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, look, Bill is one of those guys, like, he has this amazing laugh, but he rarely uses it. And we hit certain shots in the movie, and I heard him giggle over to the side of me. I was like, dude, you are happy. He's like, yeah, it's the best thing. I'm like, there we go. There we go.
Oh, I love that.
So it's gorgeous. The movie's gorgeous. The other thing I will tell you is that all of the extras on the disc, all the new little short films, the one about Harry Manfredini and Bob Kurtzman and Julie Michaels, those are all directed by Michael Felsher, who directed the documentary.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
There's even a couple of shots that I gave Michael to use that that were behind the scenes footage from our film. Here's the thing. When we made when we were starting to make the documentary, you know, we're getting all these incredible interviews with everybody, right? And the stuff was amazing.
Right.
But, you know, Sean Cunningham was a cheap son of a bitch back then. And, well, he still is. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. So Sean never met a dollar he didn't want to spend. He just doesn't want to spend any money. And so we didn't have anybody shooting behind the scenes on our film. There was no BTS. We were tiny. Jason Goes to Hell was made for less money than almost all the other sequels.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we made it for nothing, right?
Wow.
And by the way, to Sean's credit, I had 37 days to shoot that movie. It's the longest schedule I've ever had on any film. It was amazing. Like I was a kid in a candy store. I had so much time. That's because Sean's a great producer. He's an incredible line producer. He knows how to. Him and Debbie Hain-Cass, who was the production manager on the movie, they really figured out how to make that all work. They also knew I was a first-time filmmaker. It was like I was going to need the time to make it happen. That said, we had no behind the scenes. So when I'm trying to make this doc, I'm thinking like, what are we going to do for behind the scenes stuff? Because you get in a tricky area with fair use when you're using photographs that were taken on set, right? It gets very tricky. So it's like, I don't know how we're gonna do this because I mean, is it just gonna be talking heads the whole fucking movie? Like that's just dull.
Right.
I am talking with Bob Kurtzman, who is to this day one of my best friends in the world. And I said this to him, and he said, "There's behind the scenes." I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah, we were shooting behind the scenes the whole time." I'm like, "What do you mean we?" He said, "K&B. We shot behind the scenes on every movie we ever worked on." I was like, "You're fucking kidding me." He's like, "No." He says, "Dude, I got like 6 hours of footage." I was like, "Oh my God." so it's like, can I please have that? He says, yeah, give me $1 and it's yours. Like, we'll make it official.
Wow.
And so we got the only 6 hours of footage that was shot behind the scenes. By the way, there was a little bit more, which is interesting. So we get that footage, right? And so none of this has ever been seen before. You can see a couple shots in Michael's documentaries on the disc, on the 4K disc. You can see a couple little shots. Right?
Okay.
But we've got a ton in the documentary, like a ton of behind the scenes. It's the first time I've ever seen myself directing. Like, it's great. Like, I'm like, who the fuck is that kid? Like, that's nuts. Who's the kid with all the long hair? What is that about?
Flowing locks.
Right? I mean, seriously, it's a lot of hair.
Yeah.
And so I say, so we had that. Here's the other thing. There was a boyfriend of one of the actresses that came to set a lot, who illegally shot a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. Oh yeah. And I got that footage too.
You got that.
And I was like, hello. So we had, from a couple of crazy sources, we had all this like amazing footage.
Right.
And we shoved all of it into the doc. I mean, it's all there.
Wow.
But there's a little taste of it on that 4K. So no, look, the 4K is loaded. The only thing I'm a little sad about, because I was trying to make it happen, was I was trying to get a work print on the disc.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that didn't happen, which is a shame. I don't know what the legal wrangling over that was, but man, did I want that in there for the fans. Like then you get to see all the crap that we had. Like here's all. It's funny though, we could not find. I guess there is a 2-hour and like 13-minute version of the movie, which was the very first cut, which was boring as hell. God, it was so dull. But no one can find that cut. Warner Brothers has it, but they won't release it.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So they do have that in the archives, but yeah, I mean, I'm almost afraid to see that cut because God, it was bad cut.
My final question on the 4K is: there a new intro from the director?
God, I don't know if there is or not.
Oh no, I love the Scream Factory one.
You know what? They might. By the way, they might have recycled the Scream Factory one because they did. Look, all the commentary I did specifically for Scream Factory, which was with Peter Bracke and I, that's on there. The original commentary with Dean Lorey and I is on there.
Okay.
Then there's a commentary track with Michael, the director of this, and Steve Barton, Uncle Creepy. They do a commentary together. That's a hoot. That's so good.
Oh man!
So I know there were 3 commentary tracks. I think they might have taken my intro from the Blu-ray and put it on this one. I think that's what they did.
That's a special thing. If you want to see, it's one of my favorite things I've ever seen. One of my favorite special features.
Thank you, brother. That's awesome, man. And it's funny when I first shot that. I remember thinking, like, I called up the guy who was doing the special features on that disc, and I said, hey, listen, I don't want to come off like a dick. Do I come off like a dick? And he's like, no, it's really funny. I was like, all right, as long as I'm not a dick, because it just that would suck. I don't want to be that guy.
No.
But honestly, it's just because dude, I've taken so much shit over this.
Right. God. Right. And you keep championing it.
Yes, I do.
And that's what?
But I don't think there's enough filmmakers who do. I think there's too many filmmakers who lay down and die because people didn't like something. By the way, listen, I understand when a filmmaker makes a movie and they go, "Oh, that is not the movie I wanted to make." Like at all. Right. If Jason Goes to Hell, the movie I wanted to make, fuck yeah, it is. Fuck yeah, it is. Right. Do I wish that I had more money to do more shit? Yes. Originally, I wanted the mask to start showing up underneath the skin of anyone who became Jason. As their body started to deteriorate, I wanted to see like the edges of the mask start to like, and the holes start to appear in their faces. But we didn't have the money. We just didn't have the money to do the effects, and there was no digital back then, so that was impossible. But outside of that, no, man, that's the movie. That's it. And I don't like when filmmakers don't stand by their work. Like, stand by it. Good or bad, it's your kid. Look, you can have a kid, that's not all that bright. But
you still love him, man.
You still better love that kid like the smart ones. Like, come on. That's your special angel. Like you got to love.
Yep. Yep.
And
You can pick out the good points.
Right. I think that's really important. Look, there are films that I've worked on that, yes, they are not. Look, I mean, Deborah and I wrote Texas Chainsaw.
Right.
They did not shoot my script. Like they shot something that's kind of like my script, but it ain't my script.
Wow.
I never wrote "Do Your Thing," cuz no. I never wrote a girl from Chicago telling someone in Texas, "Welcome to Texas, motherfucker." No, I did not write that. I didn't put a smartphone in a movie that took place in 1993. And you know why I know it took place in 1993? Because in our screenplay, Jason Goes to Hell is playing at the local movie theater.
Oh, wow.
When you pass the town square, that's what's playing at the theater.
What a nod.
So I was like, no, we planted this movie firmly in a timeline. And then production and the director just went, I don't care. Kids are stupid. The number of times I've heard that phrase.
Right.
Fans of these movies are idiots. Just put it in. They don't care. I'm like, no. The fans of genre films are among the smartest fans you're ever going to find, and they care more than anybody. The only people that are more persnickety than horror fans are Star Wars fans.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I can get behind that.
And the other thing that pisses me off though is that what I find incredible. So people who love movies, film in general, right?
Right.
If you're a cinetiste, at least half the time, probably more, those people who love, art films and foreign films and great comedies and dramas, they don't love horror. Right? They're like, horror scares me. I'm not really into horror movies. Here's the thing about the horror fans. Horror audiences love all movies.
Yep.
So yes, is horror their genre? Is that where they feel most at home? Sure.
Right.
But they see everything.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the horror community. And that's where I come from. Like, I love all cinema. So bring it on. I don't care what country it's from. I don't care. Just bring it.
You're right.
And we consume more film and more genres than any other fandom out there.
Absolutely.
And, we're more open to it. We're simply more open to it.
We are. And like I was a fan of Nora. I'm a fan of Jason Goes to Hell. I'm a fan of The Substance. I love it all. And guess what?
There's a ton of people who love Nora and they turn their nose up at horror movies. And I just go, okay, well, you're cutting out a genre that, quite frankly, is way more progressive and way more interested in breaking down barriers than a Nora is. And I love a Nora. I think it's a terrific film. Right. But I'm sorry, you actually think a Nora has more to say than Night of the Living Dead? You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Or Dawn of the Dead? You're wrong. Like, I'm sorry, the filmmakers that I grew up with, the people that I respect, the Wes Cravens, the Carpenters, the Romeros especially, the Tobe Hoopers. Tobe Hooper, I hate when people don't get that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is about Vietnam. Like, that's what we were going through at that point. No one was making movies about Vietnam because it was such an unpopular war. And this guy made a movie about what was being sent home after Vietnam. Right. So again, I think the best thing about genre and why I love working in horror, why I adore it, is because we can feed our audience more broccoli than anybody else because we cover it in 18 scoops of ice cream.
Right.
You still get the broccoli, kids. You're still getting it.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. What a way to look at that. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
Man. Adam, I want to thank you for coming on to talk Jason Goes to Hell. 4K's out from Arrowhead right now. Look for Hearts of Darkness. It is coming soon. Physical media. Make sure you buy that physical media. And before I let you go, it's a thing I do here. What is the perfect drink to have while watching Jason Goes to Hell?
Okay, here's the problem. Here's the issue. And I might be the only fan that's ever, or the only guest that's ever said this to you. So I have never drank in my life.
Okay.
I've literally never had a drop of alcohol in my life. No alcohol, no drugs. By the way, I'm also I'm not a guy in a soapbox by any means.
Right.
I didn't have alcoholic parents. I'm not. It's none of that. I don't have any trauma over it.
Okay.
It is, and it's funny because the whole thing about The Thing and my filmmaking in general, Jason Goes to Hell and Secret Santa most specifically, is that the reason, and again, this is simply just my own thought on it, but I think it's true. The reason I think I've never indulged in drinking and drugs is because I have such a fear of loss of self,
Right.
which again, The Thing, that's literally all it's about. And, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, so many, horror films go into that idea. And so for me, my filmmaking is always reflecting that theme of like worry about loss of self.
Right.
That said, God, Jason Goes to Hell. I would tell you, look, I mean, from a look standpoint, I think probably a Tequila Sunrise would probably be like just from the flame sort of idea of it. I think that's kind of great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that might work.
I love it. A Tequila Sunrise.
Yeah, so I would throw it out there that way. Plus, the movie ends with a sunrise. That's sort of the ending.
It does.
So there you go.
Chef's kiss.
So
Adam, thank you for coming on, my friend.
Dude, my pleasure.
It's got a death curse.
Rejection. Okay.
Muted. I muted well. That was Adam Marcus. Very, very thankful to get Adam Marcus on the show. Talk to him about Jason Goes to Hell, the most divisive movie in the Friday the 13th series. And he has so many great points that I agree with, how people look at the entire series and forgive so much. In this movie, not only is he championing, like he is all over this movie, pushing it forward, but he gets so much shit for it. And I bet that documentary, which he's screening, as he said, he's screening it right now in LA, Texas, all these places. I'm looking forward to that Blu-ray when it comes out, because your boy's going to get that Blu-ray because he loves the Blu-ray. And also, like, it's not that bad of a movie. It really isn't. It's very out there. I will give it that, but it's as out there as a lot of B horror movies people love, and I think he took risks, and that's okay. We're all allowed to take risks sometimes. So I forgot to do giveaways. So it is giveaway time before our final segment of Camp Blood Party. So what we will do here, I have some gifts to give away. I have t-shirts. I have tickets to Frightmare tomorrow night. So if you're in Virginia and you're watching this, if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or however you're watching this, please pay attention right now. Okay. I know we talked about Horny Ralph, but what do they call Ralph in the Friday the 13th series? And if you answer, and if you are willing to go to Frightmare tomorrow night, 1905 South Military Highway, Chesapeake, Virginia, 23320. But I'll tell you what, I'll throw this in just because I'm a nice guy, okay? And I'm sure I could talk to Mark. If you cannot make tomorrow night's Icons of Terror, running from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., I can let Mark know you cannot make this event, but with their upcoming season around the corner, I'm sure you can exchange those tickets for their upcoming season. And we'll throw in Touchy, and maybe I'll go with you. Who knows? So if you comment, if you tell us who Horny Ralph really is, then you can win those. So if you can't be in Virginia, if you can't go to that event, you want to win some t-shirts and stuff, just leave a comment of your favorite Friday the 13th movie. Just leave it in the comments. I will pick a winner by the end of the show. So what we are going to do right now, Jim and myself, we did a little thing. We did a little
little dream fright, little what if theater. And we are going to do that right now, which is Jason's The Forever Friday the 13th. So here we go. Our final segment here at the Camp Blood Party.
Good shooting, Mahoney. Now clean up all this shit, huh?
When I looked into that mirror, I knew I'd always be ugly. I said, Lizzie, you'll always be plain.
Just relax. Be yourself. You be yourself. If you look like this.
Help! It's got a death curse.
Rejection. Okay.
Time for the segment we all love. Jim's favorite, my favorite, your favorite. Welcome back to What If Theater. It's Dream Fright scenario, and this Dream Fright is a special one because it is Friday the 13th. And boy, oh boy, Jim came up with an idea. He had his own idea that came to me about it, and he's going to let you know what it is. And Jim, what is that?
Oh, good Lord.
You came up with it. You text me.
You break the rules and become the hero. I do it and become the enemy. That doesn't seem fair.
I know this one. Hold on. Dennis the Menace.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So we decided to do a Jason Voorhees multiverse clash hunting final girls throughout the various genres. Or not the genres, but throughout the various horror films.
Okay. Now, when you say the various horror films, you mean the Friday the 13th series, right?
I'm thinking throughout everything.
Oh, you're going through it all. Now, see, that's where both of us, I guess, may have differed. I thought you were talking Jason, the various Jasons that we have seen, different time periods of Jasons, not only maybe possibly battling each other, but battling the entire series at once.
Yeah, see, I was thinking other things, but okay, we can do whatever you want
What's
to do.
yours? Let's do this. I did come up with the title with variations of Jason, but if we do this together, maybe we can mishmash. Yes, exactly. Okay, so let's I like your idea of maybe there's a bit of this of the ultimate slasher. We've already established that Freddy and Jason are in the same world because of Freddy versus Jason, obviously. Jason Goes to Hell, the glove. We've established via Adam Marcus, Evil Dead is in this world. Necronomicon being a part of Jason Goes to Hell, and Evil Dead 2 has the Freddy glove. I think it's 2. Is it 1 or 2? One of them has it.
Yeah,
I think it's 2.
Yeah, I think it's 2.
So we know right now we have 3 franchises we can play inside because of that. Does Evil Dead reference anything else from any other kind of series? That being said, has any other series made mention of these franchises? Now, I'm going to go ahead and boot out Scream, because Scream calls these movies, so they can't be in the same world, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's if they've referenced it as a movie, I don't think it should live in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Let's talk Michael Myers. Does Michael Myers have footing in this world?
No, I can't really think of anything else that's like specifically mentioned anything.
Right.
because they're all kind of in their own different distribution companies, and so they've.
Well, yeah. Well, if we're going to, here's my thing. I don't think we need to worry about actual factoid of
No,
real
yeah,
life
but I think that's
with
why they
dimension
don't.
film. Yeah, but see, I do feel like they have played around of wait a second. Didn't Leprechaun mention something? I feel Leprechaun has said something of like, oh, I'm not the hockey mask wearing little bitch boy or some shit.
I mean, he might have, but then I feel like
might have.
that plays into the movie thing more than.
Does it? I mean, if Leprechaun's the one mentioning it, maybe
Right.
it's more so because he is in the league of villains. Maybe it
But
was mentioned there.
he also had a lot of free time on his hand. He probably watched a lot of movies.
Okay. So this being said, I think we can incorporate Michael Myers because he is in Illinois. And isn't Springwood in Illinois?
Springwood. Yeah, it's in that area. It's either that or Indiana.
Okay. So let's do this. We'll just focus on Evil Dead, the Jason universe, Freddy universe, Michael's universe. So we have 4. And to me, that's Endgame, bro. You can have Endgame. Now, I don't want to incorporate the killers of, like, say, Freddy. I mean, Evil Dead doesn't really have one, so we could just mention the hero, so that's fine. I think the book needs to bring Jason's to the world. And the reason why I had a title, and I'm bringing that up, and this still works in this, in my opinion, I wanted to call the movie Jason's The Forever Friday the 13th.
Mm.
So we can play off of Jason Goes to Hell's title and Jason X, but call it Jason's.
So, okay.
Or we call it Jason's Infinity.
So to use all that and to kind of kick the whole thing off and to create a big villain behind it all.
Mm-hmm.
You started off in the Evil Dead universe, and then you have Ash banishing the Necronomicon, the book itself, to hell.
Okay.
And the book is found in hell by Elias Voorhees.
Okay, I'm in.
And which you could have him either played by C.J. Graham, who played him in a fan film.
I saw that recently.
Yeah, or you can have it played by Kane Hodder, because Kane Hodder's played his father, his own father before in the Hatchet series.
Yes, he has played the father, but he played the father kind of lovingly. He didn't play it like this.
Well, it's a different father.
But
anyway, and then Elias.
Can I throw a loop for maybe a star of Elias?
Okay.
Because I do feel like he's a kooky motherfucker that likes to just go ham. Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, you know.
What if Nicolas Cage is Elias Voorhees?
Yeah, and he finds the Necronomicon, and that's what he uses to open up the different, the realms of portals of hell to bring in his son.
It's just like, oh my God, it's just like Spider-Man No Way Home when Ned was like, show me Jason.
Yeah, exactly.
And all these different Jasons that come into the world because they're at the precipice of death via each person. And because of that, it also brings in their survivors. This is going to work. Holy shit, this is going to work. So, Elias Voorhees, who's in hell, he somehow stumbles on the Necronomicon. By the way, we can get a Pinhead cameo through this too.
Oh yeah.
Because maybe Elias at one point found the box. Maybe that's how he ended up in hell. And Jason being an ultimate killing machine, a deadite, also could be a Cenobite of a variation, if you will.
I feel like that's your end boss.
Who, Pinhead?
No, the Jason Cenobite.
God, could you imagine? So I also had another, it's a Thanos type level villain as well, because we could explore this if you think about it. Uber Jason's going to be a part of this. And I think because Uber Jason is the meanest, baddest one of them all, I think Uber Jason can talk. And I don't think not just like Frankenstein, ooh, you bad. I mean, he talks Thanos-like because he's Uber now. And I wonder if we can make Uber Jason the ultimate villain. You know, he's in control of Baghead. He's in control of Roy. Well, I guess Roy won't be a part of this. We don't have to have Roy. Tommy Jarvis still exists. Yeah. So Roy doesn't need them. But so we have Baghead. We have Zombified 6, Zombified 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and then Uber. I don't think we need to do 10 since Uber exists.
Right. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't need to do 10. I mean, you can do the also if you want to go crazy. I mean, well, there's also the 3, 4, 5 range or 3, 4 range. You can also throw in the 2009.
Oh yeah, we have to have 2009. See, and I kind of want to treat we've lost everybody, by the way. No one's watching anymore.
you could even throw
everybody stopped.
We could even throw in the Never Hike Alone one.
Oh yeah, a little womp stomp. Thank you.
If we want to go crazy, we can throw in the Nintendo NES.
Oh, now we're in the fucking Jason verse. Now we truly are across the Jason verse. Okay. So I need to write some goddamn notes down. We have an idea of Elias wanting to get his son out. What if Elias, just like in the Hellraiser series, is trying to escape hell, just like Hellbound and whatever? I forget the guy's name who ends up being back in the house.
Mm-hmm.
What if Elias somehow escapes hell through the Necronomicon? And knowing the Cenobites are going to come for him, he needs his own monster, which he calls on Jason.
Yeah.
So when he calls on Jason, it does bring not only Jason, but it brings each warrior basically the best of the best. So we get Amy Steele from part 2. We get Tommy Jarvis, Tom Matthews. He'll come back for this one. We get Tina from 7. I don't need anybody from 8. I say fuck it. We get Duke from Hell. And fucking Jason X, we can get the guy who's riding his back.
Yeah.
From 10. Jason from 2009. Yeah, we could get Padalecki. He needs $1. But what'll be interesting about the reboot, it's a different dimension. So we are crossing time. We are crossing dimension. That's not the same verse.
Right.
I love that about this. So everybody kind of gets separated. And because the Necronomicon was used, Ash, who is connected via the book, and fuck it, to make it easy for us, because I don't want to deal with like explaining, some reason he gets pulled by the book too. Because he's already been known to be the warrior.
Yeah.
He can just end up in this area as well.
Yeah, he's
What do you
tied
think?
to it.
Okay. Okay, I'm into this. Let me. God damn, I gotta write notes. Write notes. Jason Forever. Fuck right, that's what it's called.
At some point, he has to say the words. He screws them up. That's when the NES one shows up.
Oh, that's why, and maybe that's why 09 shows up too, because then it's just different dimensions. So we'll get 09 to show up, we'll get the NES, and then there's got to be one more. Savini?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Savini shows up. There was never like a cartoon or anything, right? Like an animated one. Well, I guess that's where the Womp Stomp can show up too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elias is forming his Jason army. He's got them all out there. He's like, who walks with Elias?
Who walks with him? Damn it. He's got to use it. He's got to use it. Okay, so we'll have 2, 3, and 4 can just be the like same guy. We don't have to. We'll use the 4th mask as such. Which one's that? 4? Yeah. What do you want to do? Do you want to do? I don't think we need to do 6 and 7 because I think 6 is a variant of 7. Well, I guess we do have to have 6.
I think you need 6 and 7 because 6 is just not quite
7,
as zombified yet.
8 we don't need because the toxic killed him, like the toxic flow. So that's what stops. Or it's a little boy, or it's the little boy.
The little boy. It's the chemical reaction, and he became a little boy.
Okay, 8, but child. Child. Jesus Christ. Obviously 9, 10, but only Uber. So that's who gets called first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual Jasons and 1 child. Who Jason is just scared and just fucking sits the sideline for a lot of it. But when Uber shows up, okay. Uber has to be the last one to show up, or he's hiding because he's just too powerful, and he wouldn't want Elias to win. You know what I mean? Like he'd want to be the daddy Jason. Daddy Voorhees, if you will.
And who's voicing that?
Great question. Oh my God, I didn't even think about this. Well, James Earl Jones is dead, so we can't use him. Do you want to do a variant of Kane Hodder? You were trying to get him in earlier.
I don't know. I don't feel like Kane Hodder's necessarily got that voice, though.
Right.
I think you want more.
I want someone deep. I need someone
like Idris Elba.
Idris isn't bad. It's not bad, but I don't know. Every time I hear his voice, now I only think of England.
Or if Tony Todd was still alive.
Tony Todd would be the one to do it if he signed away his Indian voice clause for AI. Do we just want to give it to Tony Todd?
Just give it to Tony Todd. We filmed this 2 years ago. It just took a while to come out.
Okay. Tony Todd, via his family okaying his AI voice, is going to play Uber Jason, which I think is fantastic.
I know a guy who's really close with the family. He'll sign it off.
He'll sign it off. It's fine. For some reason, I'm bleeding. How'd that happen? Okay. Here's the story so far. Elias is in hell. Pinhead wants to tear his soul apart, and he's been getting his soul torn apart for years. One day, the Necronomicon shows up because Ash has finally vanquished this book. When he found the book, he figured out a way to get back to Earth. He said he correctly read the book, created a portal. He gets back to Crystal Lake in fear of the Cenobites coming for him. in fear for the Cenobites to come after him, he wants to get his son. He knows his son is a killer, a monster. It's the only thing that can protect him. I want to see Jason, and he does the Doctor Strange spin. 6 variant Jasons come out, including a child. Child runs away because he's scared. He sees all these guys in a hockey mask. He don't know what the fuck is going on. And every Jason knows who he is, except one who stays kind of away, which is Uber Jason. Same time, different portals through survivors from this. And it threw Amy Steele, who plays Jenny. Is that her name?
Yeah, Jenny.
Jenny throws. I'm trying to think of 3 and 4 if there's anybody worth. I don't think there's anybody worth because we're going to have Tom Matthews.
Yeah,
I don't need Corey Feldman running around.
You don't need Corey Feldman running around.
I don't need Corey Feldman running around.
Our
So
budget can't support it.
we can't support it. Plus, he'll want to do the song for the movie, which we could use a Corey Feldman track for this. So we'll get Tommy from 6. We'll get Tina. I think this works out because we get Tina and then nobody from 8. 9, we get Duke. And we get I forget the security officer's name from 10.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember his name.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
But that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 people show up, which is great because of Jason has more. That gives us Ash, who in his portal sinks him through. They all kind of have to be separated. And I think this is a cool point because obviously Crystal Lake at this point is A-okay because Jason's been gone for years. I think it should kind of take place in a today time. The camp could be going on. People can be living in houses and stuff because this gives our Jasons a chance to kill people while also our people trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm.
Like they could keep going to places being like, what year is this? What, how does a cell phone work? Kind of deal. Then keep following me here. Keep following me. Keep on cursing. When Ash shows up, he knows exactly what's going on. He's the only one that knows what's going on. Ooh, never mind. Haha. What's even better? Haha. When Ash got rid of it, it's old Ash. Like I'm talking, I mean like 1980s Ash. This can all come to Ash as old man Ash vs. Evil Dead Ash. So we don't have to recast said guy. Tom Matthews is the only one that really gets effed in the deal that we would have to recast, unless if we want Tom Matthews from Womp Stomp's version to help us out.
Yeah, because we can really pull them from any time.
Exactly. So eventually, Ash is coming to Crystal Lake. He's gathering these sons of bitches. Eventually, all the Jasons are in one place. Even Uber shows up, and that's when Tony Todd's like, fuck you, Dad. Kills Elias. And proclaims himself as leader of the
Lord Voorhees.
Yeah, Lord Voorhees. Fuck yeah, Lord Voorhees. And they all bend the knee. They all bend the knee, especially Baghead. Especially Baghead. We'll get some cool fight. I mean, like now we got Ash with his chainsaw. We got Tina with her mind fucking tricks. We can play that in-game battle, but I don't think this is in-game because maybe Elias isn't dead yet because we need Pinhead to show up And wasn't the original story for fucking like Hellraiser like, if you give me someone, I will let you free.
Yeah, basically.
So maybe Uber thought he killed Elias. Elias is like, I'll give you my son. And he chooses Uber Jason because I think Uber Jason has to become the Cenobite.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which then, once all these other Jasons are dying, and then you have Cenobite fucking Jason. And during the battle, which obviously, like you said, Ash says the words wrong.
Right.
Which
Well, because
then,
they need their own powerhouse to help fight on their side against Cenobite Uber Jason. So
Okay.
he says the words to try to summon their own little beast, and he accidentally calls, like, 80s Jason first, because or not 80s Jason, but NES Jason first. We even got the little 8-bit music playing,
yeah,
and which that Jason gets slaughtered like right away. Nothing.
right,
So then you
right.
can try it again, and this time it works, and then that's how you get Savini Jason in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Savini Jason versus Cenobite Jason.
Wait, so you're saying Savini Jason's going to be our Jason
Sure.
to fight Uber Jason?
Yeah,
Or
why not?
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so he's controlled by the book, and basically, okay, yeah. So fucking cartoon Jason shows up, Womp Stomp shows up, but Womp Stomp's fucking Cenobite handles him. Fucking NES, it's just fucking easy peasy because all he's doing is this, trying to fight the Cenobite Jason. Savini shows up. He's controlled by the Necronomicon, and they have a good fight. I think they should have a pretty neato fight, but then eventually Ash gets a hold of the box. Boom, because he's a Cenobite now. Uber Cenobite Jason has to go back to hell. Words are said correctly on the book. All the other Jasons went back to their timelines to finish out their stories, just like the survivors get to. And that's that. What do we do with Elias? I think fucking Ash just straight up shoots his head off.
Yeah, he's a decapitated head somewhere, floating
Another
around.
decapitated.
And there's this alternate universe where it's just his decapitated head and Pamela's decapitated head, and then they kiss and then cut.
With the fucking heart.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this fucking dumb fucking movie. Okay.
Like we didn't know this was a Valentine's Day movie.
We did it. It comes out on February 13th, whatever year that we'll have it. All right, so this is the movie. This is the film Jason's Forever Friday the 13th. Starts off, this is the recap. So, starts off, Elias is in hell. We are seeing him being tortured by Pinhead. He wants to tear his soul apart. Switch scenes to Ash doing a battle, and it's 1980s Ash fucking going to town, getting the words right, big swirling portal, fucking throws the book in, closes up, go back to Elias being in hell. All of a sudden, wind opens, boom, book hits the ground, tears his fucking arm off, looks at the book, starts reading some words, sends them out. Pinhead's pissed. Then fast forward time, gives us the year 2025 or 6, whenever this comes out. Elias lands in Crystal Lake. Looks familiar, but it's different because there hasn't been any massacres in years. Currently, I guess technically 2003 would have been the last year Jason was around. Because that's Freddy versus Jason time. Yeah. So it's been 3 years since there's been any problems. Elias knows that the Cenobites and Pinhead are coming because he keeps getting like flashes and shit. He uses the book to call his son. He wants his son. All of a sudden, all these portals, all these different ways of conjuring happen. All of a sudden, we see Baghead Jason. Oh, shit, that's crazy. Then we see part 4, Jason, what's happening? Then we get part 6, 7. Then we get 9, who was in hell. So he's coming out of the ground, obviously. And then that's it. We don't see any other. Oh, well, the kid comes. He's scared as all get out of the way. That's how we get the 2 heads at the end. The kid has daddy's head and brings it to
Mommy and daddy, you know.
Yep, that's the post credit. There we go. Okay, so kid runs away. My son, I need you guys to protect me. We are here, but we are home, and we need to cause chaos once again because I am Los Voorhees. Fucking everybody goes their separate ways, and we get a massacre. Like I said, there's going to be a camp, like the actual camp, Crystal Lake, Packanack, whatever. They're all dying. Whoever's rented the old Jarvis house, they're all dying. Like, we're going to get a nice massacre. But then we go to another scene where we see all the survivors landing in separate places. After that, Ash doing Ash thing in his RV starts getting like mind fucks, and then that like spirit from the old doctor comes up. They're back, the book's back, you have to stop the back, go to Crystal Lake, stop all this before the world dies. Oh, what a world. Shit, basically. Ash says, gets in his car, goes to Crystal Lake. Ends up at Crystal Lake. He finds, I say Tina first, because I think Tina and Ash would be a fucking good combo. We find Tina, we find Tom Matthews, but you know, Tommy, finding the others. And then there's like many battles throughout, like only versing one Jason, until they start realizing there's someone pulling the strings. Then we meet Elias and fucking Bruce Campbell have to have a scene together. They have to, because I need them both to chew this scenery. Elias is like, I'm not going back to hell. Ash is, I'm sending you there, so shut the fuck up. All Jasons show up. Our team shows up. Kind of a battle or whatever. Until the good guys realize they can't handle it because Uber Jason shows up in the fight. So they have to fucking run away for a bit, recoup. Elias is like, what are you? What are you? And then we get our first Tony son, your son, you know, doing the very Venom-like fucking talk. And he's like, you will be my strongest warrior. And he's like, why do you think I'm going to work for you? Wham! Grabs him, starts killing him and stuff like that. Thinks he kills him. He's like, you're mine, and I'm going to rule this world, Jasons. And everybody bends the knee, especially Baghead. Baghead fucking hates him. Good guys are like, who the hell are
Baghead's like the Starscream.
He is. He's Starscream. 100%. Good guys are like, what the hell are we going to do? We don't know what to do. We can read the book. I mean, we can find a warrior that will help us looking through the book, and maybe that's how they see Savini Jason. And Ash is like, okay, I can conjure this guy up. He is a demon from hell that we can control. We'll have to get him. Let's go fight Jasons, yada yada. Get back there where they're at. Uber's like, you ain't gonna take me. He's like, oh, I'm gonna take you, fucking, I'm gonna open the gates of hell to get you out of here. Start saying words, boom, NES Jason comes out, womp, 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 dead immediately. That wasn't Savini. Says another word, boom, Ghost Jason from Womp Stomp comes, but he's not controlled, so he's going to be on their side. Fuck, you gave him another guy. Sorry. Says some words, all of a sudden, lights get crazy, but boom, there's Pinhead and the Cenobites. And he's like, you would be perfect for my Cenobite Uber Jason. And Uber Jason's like, well, if it's more power, it's basically Aladdin, where fucking Jafar was like, oh, I want all the power. But what Uber didn't realize is that now you're a Cenobite. You can't do anything. And he'll get nastier too. Like the fucking, I want barbed wire coming through his fucking mask there. I want the bondage outfit on this motherfucker. I mean, he's going to look pretty fucking disgusting. So now Pinhead is in control of Uber Jason. But because they're here, the box has to be here. So how did the box land here? Come on, guy. We got to get the box. We can't have any plot holes. How did the box get here?
The box was brought by
Pinhead. He does carry it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'll carry it sometimes when he's got it.
So maybe that's how.
And there's multiple boxes as well.
This is true, but like if he shows up with the box and he's playing with it to Uber Jason, if he told Uber Jason, he's like, here, you have to hold this and play with it to become fucking a Cenobite. Boom. So now it's on the ground.
Also, like we could have had a scene earlier on, since Ash knows all kinds of people, and this is all same universe anyway. He could have been like, you know, when they start talking about hell and this and that, and we might need to get some. He might be like, hey, I know somebody, and he goes and finds Kirsty from Hellraiser.
Allie?
No, Kirsty from Hellraiser.
Oh,
he might have it. Yeah, and she'll be like, oh, I know how to get in there.
Okay. So fucking, well, he called her to come. That's what. And fucking Tina uses the psychic powers to get the box away from Pinhead for her to mess with it while they're dealing with them, because he's using Savini like a goddamn NES controller to fight Uber Cenobite. And they're killing each other, yada, yada, yada. But he's about to kill Savini Jason. And then Kirsty gets Cenobite Jason back into the box, uses the box to get the pinheads and stuff like that. Then Ash is using the book to send all the other Jasons back to their permanent timelines, sends them back to Kirsty. Can do that because Kirsty knows how to deal with this stuff now. All of a sudden, thank you, Kirsty, for helping us out. Love y'all. Have a good evening. End of movie. Post-credit scene in the woods after Elisa's head's been chopped off. You see little feet show up, grab the head, go, and then you see yet another fucking like tin made house, and he puts the head next to mommy's head, and then he goes away. Boom. Yeah. We've set up
here at Death Curse Club. Romance is our number one goal.
You fuck right it is. Fuck right. We gotta get these kids together. But on top of that, you put the two heads there, and then the Necronomicon could also be there. Who knows what happens? Also, now this kid Jason could grow up and become the monster here.
Yeah.
We've set up a new universe while doing the multiverse.
I mean, somebody had to. They're taking their sweet time doing it themselves.
You're not wrong. But you know what? That's why we're doing this show today. Maybe they have announced stuff. Maybe you've heard stuff. Maybe we've talked about it, because this is definitely not pre-recorded.
Potential plot details could have already been leaked.
Who knows? But that was What If Theater. What do you say? Would you go see this movie? Would you go see Jason's The Forever Friday the 13th in theater, or would you wait for VHS? Like, obviously, this would have been made. And this would have been totally written by Adam Marcus and directed by the guy that did Pet Sematary 2. 100%. 100% that's who does this.
I mean, why not?
It's got a death curse.
Rejection. Okay.
That was it. That was the Dream Fright. That was What If Theater. And boy, oh boy, I said the plot to that movie like 14 times. So if you caught all of that, good for you. What a fun time. That is our time here at the Death Curse Club, the Camp Blood Party. What a time we had. I kept getting comments. Nobody asked for any prizes. So
I guess I don't give any prizes unless you comment, I want a prize. If you comment, I want a prize, you win a prize. So I will give you a prize. But we're wrapping up here. We're wrapping up. But before we wrap up, let me go and give you these one more time, baby. If you go to tpublic.com, Death Curse Club, our TeePublic store is open. Just search Death Curse Club. You can find it. You can get some sweet swag there. Boom. If you want to go to Frightmare tomorrow night, 1905 South Military Highway, Chesapeake, Virginia, Icons of Terror event is going down. It's good stuff. Check it out. Also, if you want to help out the show, if you want us to get to that next level, get this G Fuel, which is on sale right now on their site. I have an affiliate link in the description of this video. Hack and Slash is on sale right now. It's a Friday the 13th inspired energy formula. It gives you focus, reaction, endurance, all the things a growing kid needs to get away from Jason Voorhees on a night like this. And lastly, I'm going to promote it here. We are going to go live on Patreon. We're doing a Friday the 13th part 6 Jason Lives watch party. That's what we're about to do at 10 p.m., which is in like 4 minutes. So I got to set that up. I got to get over there. You should come on down, hang out, do some things. Who commented? Oh, it's Matt Birchfield. Oh, you're saying things. God damn it. Antioxidants are one. Yes, Matthew, they do. And just because you commented, I'm going to send you a t-shirt. You've won a t-shirt, so I'm going to get your address. You deserve it. And you're going to love the shirt. And you're the perfect guy to have it, just so you know. So you won a t-shirt. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. However you get this, if you DM me on Death Curse Club on Instagram and you're like, hey, I want the prize, you'll get a prize because I have plenty of prizes. But thanks for watching. Happy Friday 13th to each and every one of you. Don't do drugs. Don't drink. Don't have premarital sex, and you'll live through the night. All right. We'll check you later. Spook you later.